Hold on, y'all. This is what happens when you do stuff live, man.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I sound clear. So I don't know what's happening. But
Okay.
anyway, let me
How am I
introduce
sound?
this.
Sim, am I good? Am I good on yours? You may want to because you got the on the fives. Okay, you're
You
good too.
perfect.
All right.
So let me say this one more time, y'all. The reason why
Yeah,
we
you good, OD.
and the reason why we're having trouble is I took an update in Wavelink. Anybody that knows Wavelink knows what that's about, and it shut down my entire Wavelink. I had to download the prior version. Once I did that, it started detaching all of my audio sources. So I'm kind of getting this back together in real time, but I didn't want to hold up OG, AZ, and Smitty. So we're playing this out in real time, but it sounds like everything sounds cool now. I know you guys said you were hearing an echo, and it's only because I had my speakers playing instead of a headphone. But I'll fix all of that as well. But we're here. I don't want to waste too much more time. We have OG in the building. For you guys that don't know, this is, and I'm hoping I got this title correct, creative director, to my knowledge, on the college side, as well as he works on the Madden side. Give you a little bit of quick history really quick before we go. I told you guys that there's people in the EA building that we know like that. I've actually known OG since before OG, if I'm not mistaken, was with EA the first time.
That's right.
Met OG verbally on a podcast or a radio show with the Czar.
Yep.
OG shortly after that got hired at EA. That's when I started coming down to do the game changer thing. We met in person, and it's been cool ever since. You guys know OG is responsible. I'm not going to just say him. He wouldn't want to say that, but he's hugely responsible for the turnaround that you saw with NBA 2K. Same guy. It's funny because some of y'all don't even know that. Went over there, did some good work, ended up leaving 2K for whatever reason. You guys don't need to know that. He goes to EA. And I heard about it, and I stayed quiet until he came out and told you guys about it. And voila, he was very instrumental for college football 25. And here we are today. So we have the man on with us tonight. This is unscripted. We don't know what we're going to ask. We don't know what he wants to talk about. But we're going to have a conversation. So let me just say this before I throw it to Smitty. I'll let Smitty kick it off while I continue to work on some audio stuff. We're not going to ask any, and I'm going to use a SAT word. We're not asking no salacious things, none of that. We talking to OG as someone that we've been cool with for years, and that's how it's going to go.
Yeah,
You can
about
ask whatever
15
you
years.
want, but we don't do that style of interview. That's not what we do. We're going to ask real questions, but we're not asking no shady stuff because y'all want to hear that. No. You can do that, and if he wants to address it in the comments,
Sure. Yeah, I got the comments right here. Yeah, no doubt.
That's what we are. It's where we are, guys. We don't know where this is going. I'm going to throw it to Smitty while I work on some more connections on my end to kick it off. So thank you, first and foremost, OG, for coming through with us. And let's do it, Smitty. Where we going? What you want to ask?
It's good to be here on a Thursday, fellas. Good to be
Right.
here.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, man. No, like I need to know is how we get a code to the game right now.
Oh,
Like, I know it's like, I'm just like, no, man, no. But real though, I'm the real though. Like, okay, I know you're working on, you worked on both games. Now, how deeply involved were you with the franchise mode stuff, the dynasty mode aspects of Madden, or was it like more on the surface, or was it just more gameplay?
Yeah, not a ton on there. You provide your things there, but like obviously you guys know Josh is back, and we know Josh well, and so him and his guys and stuff have been doing an amazing job. So more surface level, more on the dynasty side, because I came over probably more or less around the holidays, as that stuff kind of happened and that move over. But you guys know, like I haven't missed a Rams game in 30 years, right? I know I've lost followers just for the fact that why in the hell is this guy tweeting about the Rams, right? Like so it's it's kind of one of those things. But yeah, go right ahead. But I still I'm pretty in tune with it.
All right. So like because I know that from the gameplay blog, talk about how like the X factors and the superstar abilities and everything, they're basically there's no absolutes, but it's more of a higher probability kind of thing, but it's not definite. So having discussions with some people, the ability, what was it? It's regarding the passing pressure ability, right? For the coach, head coach, the tier 4, where it's saying there's no pressure, right? So with it being no pressure, does that mean that regardless of a trait that a quarterback may have or either a defender would have, does that mean that they just get no pressure at all whatsoever? Like there's nothing that could rattle that quarterback, regardless of how highly or how lowly rated they are?
Yeah, no, those ones are similar but yet different, right? But no, they're usually they're for the most part working under that same structure. But that's more or less the thing, and that's where we're trying to go in the future here is more or less of taking those away. Obviously, with college, that was the main one, was saying, hey, Al, we're going to do this. It goes from bronze to platinum, and then there's the Heisman. So that's where we're working at more or less on the Madden side. How that goes, I'm not exactly 100% certain on that. On the back end of it, I'd want to speak if I knew exactly what that back end on there was in it, but I don't believe so.
Okay. All right. Like that's just on the just to be curious about, because the thing is, the cool part about the blog is that they did not announce the knockout opportunities, which I would assume, and I mean I'm not asking you to shed light on it. Like I'd rather be surprised and find out, but I'm assuming that it would take a lot to achieve that tier 4, regardless of what it is. It would take a good amount to be able to achieve that. But then also, it's like, I would say challenging to gain, but if you're not as intricate with your play style per se, it'll be easier for you to lose that highest tier ability. That's what I'm assuming. Like if is that kind of like the outlook of it, so to speak, somewhat?
Yeah, kinda. I'd probably a better question for Josh.
Okay.
To be honest with you,
all right.
to go deeper in that. But
sure. All right. Okay, because that's what I'm curious about personally. Like, how much of a challenge is it going to be when it comes to that in the game and everything? Like, what kind of experience? Because the way they talk about it is like more of a progressive kind of development with your coach over the course of seasons, pretty much. Like, that's the way it sounds in the blog. I know some are going to be easier to achieve than others, but it's like, if I'm trying to get the highest tier, then it should take a good amount of work for me to get that, as well as to maintain it, because some of those knockout goals are going to knock you out. You know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of like how, what's it really going to take to honestly do it, to drop them off. So
Yep.
that's
it looks like we're good. Sim, sounds like from the chat.
Yeah, I figured out the problem. Oh, hold on. Now I hear me double. But what it was is I had so Elgato has this thing, right?
Yeah.
Where I had PC audio and mic audio dispersing the audio. So you guys were doubled because you were actually coming out of my stream twice, but I fixed it.
Gotcha.
So we good now.
Cool.
AZ, you got a question and or comment?
Yes, sir. OG, man. So people who don't know OG is one of us, and I will say this to even put a further cap in a further feather in his cap. He's played professional sports and is a Hall of Fame overseas basketball player. So he knows sports at a high level. But take us through what a creative director is really responsible for in coming on with these games, because we've had past creative directors. People knew the Ian Cummings, Mike Youngs of the world. But what is OG creative director bring to the table that we've seen so much? It's been happening for a while, but the change has been from college football and instantly almost into Madden 26. Like, what are your roles and responsibilities that kind of helps push that agenda, further along faster?
Good question. So first was a lot of people don't even know I was recruited to play football, right? I mean, you guys know that, but like dudes didn't know. I went basketball was just like, okay, you know, you go on, you have a great into junior, senior, all of a sudden there you go at the end, like, and I won't tell that Uncle Rico story, but because I was recruited by Tom Cable when he was at Idaho, if you guys remember, like when he was going that far before he was doing his thing and growing up there. So in those neck of the woods, but it was more or less of I think there was the sports aspect of it. Obviously playing Madden in college, more Madden competitively, winning the electronic boutique tournaments and things of that when we were younger and things of that nature. But I think the most important part, or the thing that I've had impact, obviously we have a dope team, right? So there's a lot of changes I could tell you about that have come even since when I left last time and I came, like, wow, there's some different people here, some really dope team members. Is the community aspect. And I think even when I was here, when I was on the other side, like I'll speak for me. I don't want to speak for anybody, but I don't want to come off, with this sounds like a huge ego. I've never lost that. So whether you guys were still in the streets or, Sim's pumping out content 3 times a week like he used to, or he shows up, with this terrible towel, Thursday, Tuesday that you're doing, and you're showing up there, like I'm still checking in constantly to yourself, to the competitive player, to, OS is not really what OS used to be. So you kind of always try to keep your, ear to the streets, because I mean, there's a lot of noise. I mean, you even look at X. X is not what it really was probably at the start too, right? So it's just a bunch of different things. So what you're doing there, you're taking that and then trying to feel like you look at features we talked about back in 2012, 2013, stunts and twists, being able to change depth of players, how you show, when you show. Like I would argue that stuff that was there like years ago. Now we have guys in here like Ken Boatwright, NFL D lineman. You have Clint in here, NFL, and now you're like, hey, we got to do this mechanically. I could help get us there, okay? But to do stunts and twists right in IDing the correct people. Okay, what happens if this 3 technique changes to a 5, and in all these games start playing? That it was more or less that, trying to get that. It's a long-winded answer here, AZ, but you try to bring all those things like, hey,
right,
at some point now, when you actually have this type of, I don't want to say power, but influence on the game, you're like, yo, this is non-negotiable. Like we're going in with this. And it's not like guys didn't want to do it, but it's a constant stack rate game here, right? So that's why I have very little patience, which I get. Hey, where are the hanging mouthpieces? Or where, like, dude, I don't work on that side of things. You push it, but it's like, hey, is it that or dynamic lighting, or is it? I mean, stuff you guys know and been there, but hopefully the audience and guys, come check out, learn a little bit on how that process goes. And at the end of the day, you're paying that money. You don't have to care. Like you're like, hey, where's this? I expect this quality, and like, dude, I get that. So I don't want to think like only devs are playing this. Like, I think that's always just kind of been a difference there of like, I don't want to be a hypocrite because we were all sitting together having dinner, going at devs, going in and just being authentically giving them good constructive, feedback. But we were us.
Yeah, and it's funny because, great. Thank you for answering that. But like with me being out of the limelight, so to speak, or not uploading content or doing things, like I've stepped away. So I don't have an EA component besides, you, Mole, and people that I have relationships with that I built, when I was in the building, but I'm not really connected to EA. But it's funny because I'm like you, I know how to lurk the shadows. I know how to keep my ear to the streets. So I'm watching people do the same thing and say the same things that they said to us when we went down there. They're saying it to Bordeaux. They're saying it to, Bingle and Q and all these people who are still.
Oh, we lost him. Hold on. We'll get him back here in a second. While we wait for him to come back.
Like a torn Achilles right there. Just got him.
Oh, there you go. Here he is. He's back.
No, there he is. He's
back. I've had a torn Achilles too.
No, see, you know what? I thought you did, but I can't remember. I'm more or less speaking of the controversy that's out there right now with like, hey man, you got a calf strain, you shouldn't play. I'm like, man, I've never heard of Achilles tears like this.
Oh man, it's
Like,
funny because when I called myself the Blue Mamba when mine happened because mine happened at summer camp. I was playing with kids and it popped, and I felt like one of the kids pushed me. So I'm looking around. I'm like, well, who pushed me down? And then I got up and walked away, and I didn't have to get carried off the court and all that kind of stuff, like you see now. But that's why I call myself the Blue Mamba because Kobe walked off the court with his. He shot his free throws, walked off. I finished my work day and then went to the hospital. But yeah, but I was just saying, like, I keep my ear to the streets, and I'm watching all the stuff that we used to get, even in the Operation Sports forums and all this kind of stuff. And, we've been down there. We've said, these are the things that we want. So I was just trying to get, like, some of the stuff that we talked about. Like, we wanted it to be that chess game. We wanted it to be that, strategic thing of not overusing a player. And if you do overuse that player, it's going to be consequences for it. So it's good to see that stuff brought to the forefront. And I'm crediting you. I know there's a lot of stuff that goes behind the scenes with it, but I'm
oh,
crediting it to
100%,
you.
100%. Yeah, no doubt.
And
The
your
team is great.
team, your team for actually getting that stuff done and implementing and building that foundation, because you always hear about 3-year plan, 5-year plan, and anybody who works in any type of corporation knows that things happen like that. But at
Sure.
the same time, sports gamers, sport people, they always looking for a quick year fix, a quick turnaround, and it doesn't happen like that. But I was super excited to hear about the improvements in Madden 26 that came over from college football 25, and then with now you being at the helm of both games. And then I don't know about if people know about the announcement of college basketball even further. Like, it's just crazy. I don't know if you're ahead of that too, but
No,
it's a lot of
no
ways you can
comment,
go.
no comment,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, I
When that
know.
thing happened, man, there was like 300-400, like my ads were like crazy. I'm like, man, I'm trying to ship football. Do not ask me one thing about anything to do with the round ball right now. So yeah, that was
You know they're gonna ask you, and they know they
I know.
probably want you
I
to
get
answer.
it. I get it.
Oh yeah,
I
of
get it.
course,
I
of
get it
course.
completely.
And I
But it
know
was
that
more or less
your
of a
competitive nature wants to beat out another company and getting to that and
the
doing it.
thing. Az,
But
the thing was is we just released the gameplay, first gameplay look when I was at Alabama.
oh
And
wow,
then that announcement had come out. So I was literally watching the video, and then it was like, "Hey, da 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 da." It's like,
That was
oh
crazy.
man.
They tried to step
So
on it.
honestly, that's how
Man,
that stuff had all all came about. But yeah, like wear and tear is one of those. Like it's funny you say that because I remember when we came out with this, and it might have been the Madden blog, and Sim is losing his mind in a video of why this didn't start in
yep,
Madden.
that was hot.
And I was like, yep, like, and I get it, but that was it. So the whole thing is fixing football problems with football solutions. And so before it was like, hey, and that's the whole thing of bringing it to Madden as well. And people look at it, some will look at it and be like, oh man, like -5 and -8. And like, first off, it's like, do you even know what that does to that attribute? Some it could be high, some you probably think it should be more, right? But I used to just say, like, for the most part, especially after like we did some tuning to it, and now we have right PBT in this involved now in both games. So like that helps wear and tear like a ton because it's just more consistent numbers that are put in. We had a change in abilities so that aftershock is not killing you as much. But anyways, my long ramble here. This is why I like this because I'm with the boys. But my thing is that when Milrow got to running, it was just like, hey, your whole thought is no different than it was in real life. I'm going to cut him. I'm going to block him. I'm going to keep hitting him. And then I'm going to wear him down to where he's not the same guy, right? Because that's the answer.
right,
Or
yeah.
the video game solution is you just turn fumbles up. And I'm like, well, you got guys like Lamar, you got Cam Newtons of the world. I may be
Yep.
talking more of the exceptions and the rules here. I get that. But I'm saying that to me, party of one is not the solve. And then you think about it from our perspective, everybody in the chat as well, unless you got a pick or you got a fumble, what was the reward for playing defense? Right? So whether a guy runs halfback dive, or he's running jet sweeps, or he's running quick slants over and over again, or he's in trips bunch and he keeps running that corner route over and he keeps getting crushed, but he's hanging on or whatever, like, it's two sides to the coin. I know offense is more fun. It sells tickets. I get it, but we have to die on the hill of, of balance in that respect.
Yeah, to me, it has to be okay for the user to kind of be at grips with what's happening, because I think Madden, this is not on you, it's been on the previous Madden culture, but people get upset with pass breakups, and I never understood that. A pass breakup, like Madden has conditioned people to think every bad pass is an interception.
And it's
No,
not.
and it's not. Like, other things can happen bad in a passing play. It could be a underthrown, batted, pass breakup, knocked out, all that kind of stuff. But people think now, oh, I'm supposed to. Every bad pass that is thrown is going to be an interception. It doesn't happen like that. Where are the catch ratings? What about what people who supposed to play defense? That's why you're not a receiver. That's not why you're not a halfback.
Sure.
Like, linebackers, linebackers shouldn't be able to catch like Calvin Johnson and so forth.
Right.
So
the
In those days.
answering Sim Gaming Network, I saw he was in there, so I wanted to shout him out. I saw him pop up in green. Yes, progression was definitely updated and tuned. There was a lot. I'm sure Sim Gaming, you already saw it with the blog, and Chad Walker, my dude that's in there. As I give you guys an insight, we hired a handful of the guys from the revamp crew, and that was a huge change. Like, I would say, like my guy Thomas Fleming, who came in. You knew that, you guys.
Yeah.
My guy Fleming, who came in. He did our offensive side of the college playbooks. Like, how do you think you get 2,800 new plays and 45 new formations? And like, the hit rate, I'm thinking at day one is going to be pretty high. And you're like, what do you mean by the hit rate? The hit rate meaning like not a ton of bugs, because I mean, you guys know there's so many permutations. Like, I don't know what's going to happen at the shotgun gate that Penn State has. You think, because we have great testing, Mole and everybody in that crew are killing, but it's like, that's only them, right? And there's, it's you got guys and game changers coming in to testing, and you're getting a lot of feedback. Your beta went out, but still, you don't know. And that's even when I was on the other side, it was the same thing. You think you're there, and just things happen. You get it out in front of 10 million people, and you don't know what's going to happen, right? So you think you do. For the most part, you have a good hand on the pulse. Go ahead, Smitty. My bad.
No, I was just gonna say. No, I was gonna say to your point, like, even from, because like I said, you've been on the side of the fence that we've been on, and even you report in, go to the office. Y'all play builds multiple times. I mean, Sim, AZ, we've been in there where we'll play certain builds. Some builds will only have a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And then there's this one build that we don't get to play where Scant will tell us or something, be like, oh man,
shout out to
we
Scant.
fixed this. We fixed that. Man, I wish y'all could try this build we got upstairs. If you got time, you can come by my desk and I can show. And so that's why when we be saying, like, when these betas come out, it's like, man, this could have been off of a build that they put together months ago, or it could be last week or whatever. But the disparity between one build and the next, like, the beta can be one way. They could have something on their desk that could be playing night and day completely to what we played off that Madden beta,
100%,
or even with that college. Like, so when y'all said it was old, that was an old build. I'm like, oh man, so it probably what they playing probably pales in comparison to what we got down on. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm just saying, like, understand when, like OG saying it, this, like he's in there. So that's
what I get. People don't want to believe it. Like, I had the same skepticism as well. So I just go like, hey, dude, like, to whoever it is, even when I'm sending out the tweets, like, I don't really run from it. Like, you've seen me. Hey, when we had the spin move exploit that showed up, we didn't want that.
Yeah,
dude, I was playing a kid online, because I'm playing our game competitively online. I swear this kid couldn't have been 12. And he's coming through my mic going, "Are you ready? Are you, here he comes?" And it's Junkins, you know, like, and, you know, we had the fix. We got on it early. And, you know, not one person's fault. It was, you know, you know, things just kind of happen down the road. It's development. But it was like, that's when I got my competitive side that AZ alluded to. That was like, oh, it's the arcadey. And I was like, nah, hold on. There was some turn stuff we wanted to smooth out, always die on the hill of responsiveness. But our 40 times, 4-2-3 was still 4-2-3.
Yeah.
You can time them, you could do it. It was this stuff that started to get there. It was like, okay. But, you know, the thing is, like, when we first went into that, I was challenging the guys to, like, and I don't know how young the audience is in here. Probably some young, some our age, right? What's cool about it?
And older.
Dude, the first thing we did was we went right after Reggie Bush and Peter Warwick. And it was like, hey, if I can replicate those
Peter
guys
Warwick.
on the left stick, not just the right stick, the left stick, if we can go ahead and get started and, like, all right, we take this shifty, like, this ability, okay, how does it, can we kind of get busy in there? And, you know, you win some, you lose some. But absolutely, Smitty, and that's what I said about the thing. I'm like, hey, dude, I'm glad people are enjoying it. But man, there was probably 800 plus fixes. I'm probably undercutting it, that the media had played, that build was newer than that beta build.
That's what I heard.
So yeah. So that build was older, but you know, the betas do different. They serve different purposes, right? So it's just like, hey, this is, you know, test the servers, try different things, and so there's definitely, you know, some value more or less to them. I'm not really used to them where I've been before, so I was kind of like, I don't know, like, I'm just not, you know. But tech wise, if I was in the background, like, I completely get it. And it, you know, there's things you find too that are significantly help you ship a smoother launch.
Yeah.
And let me say this too, and we will try to get AZ back on, but let me say this to the chat. We're going to take a segment near the end where we'll have, you know, OG go through and answer some questions. First, I'm going to give you guys some advice. Ask real questions. Don't ask the questions like you doing this. Like, this ain't the place for that. Just ask real questions. Give real feedback, because you have somebody in OG that is listening. So let's not do the finger pointing, da 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 da. He actually told you, if you listen a few minutes back, he said there are decisions that have to be made. Me and Smitty have been saying that to y'all for years. They can't just do this. Like he said, you want this or you want dynamic lighting? You want this or you want to fix the spin move? That's how it works, right? So we're not saying everything is going to be perfect. He's not saying that. But I think this is important for me to tell y'all. We're at a point now where I think feedback really matters. Because another thing OG said that I was going to ask, but he already addressed it. Clearly, there's a change going on within the building. And I don't mean just at their level. I'm talking about, we always talk about the suits. It seems like things are going in a different direction now. So let's utilize that momentum. But I also wanted to say to OG, man, that was kind of my question, is where do we go from here? Because I know a lot of people, and let me say this too really quick. I'm talking over myself, but chat, this is why I titled it A Conversation. We don't have to ask OG some of these questions that y'all are saying. Ask him this. We know. Remember, Smitty and I have been going down to EA since 2012. We know we're informed, so we don't have to ask him every little detail, because we already know how things work. I'll let him answer your questions. I just want y'all to hear the conversation that we have amongst guys that kick it. All right, that's fair. But I'll ask you this, OG. A lot of people are concerned already about, man, yeah, they doing a lot, but I hope this ain't it. You know, I hope 27 is not going to be a stale game and blah, 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 blah. Fair. I mean, deep down, I hope that too. But can you speak at all about the new guard. Like, can you speak a little bit about where you guys are looking to go? You know, I would imagine progression is going from here, but can you speak anything close to, you know, what the new vision currently is for Madden as well as college football?
Oh man, good one. First, when you talk about, I mean, shoot, when we were all here together, Cam he leads all of EA Sports now. Cam's dope. Cam is dope.
Cam Weber?
Right?
Cam Weber.
Cam's been running the all EA Sports, I think, now for some years.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But I'm saying, like, when we were there, Cam, I think, was the EP of Madden. But, like, Cam at his position, and Andrew, though, too, I think when I was here last, like, is doing it. Like, Cam is a gamer. Like, still, I'll see him in the, hey, blah, blah, blah. You know, he's one of those. He was when we were here 13, 14 years ago, right? So that is there. I mean, Grady was here, part of the old college stuff. He's over on the Madden side.
That's my guy right there.
Obviously, Rob Jones here. You know, my boy McLeod, homie. You know, we brought that. Like, if it wasn't that, I'm not back. Right? Like, you guys know me well enough, right? Like, it wouldn't be like, there's certain things. I mean, you just go, and it's not like that stuff happened. There was things that went back and forth for years, you know, before you actually make a move. But yeah, from that top, you know, if there was something odd, or, you know, your boy well enough, and I'm just one man, and just like, oh, okay. Like, if it's not, I would have just stayed put. Like, I don't think it's really one of those things, or you even have those type of discussions. But where are we going football? Just make football. It's in its most simplistic terms. Like, I think you look at college, I think you look now, it was even why the Boom Tech, PBT, like, when I wrote the blog, I specifically put that lower. And it's a dope feature, and all the things that got cleaned up with it, and it was there because I said it in there. I told people at Media Day, you guys probably heard, like, if it wasn't better and wasn't the best solution, we wouldn't have done it. I don't care about but our other tech that we had in 25 was just too limiting to the organic nature and outcomes, what it can do for wear and tear, more consistent results, and all those other things there. It was by far there. It was like, hey, we didn't sell like revamp passing, wear and tear. Wear and tear at that time was probably the most like complex tech that was in there, because it's like completely physics-based damage system, right? But other than that, it's all football. No eyes, no picks this year. QB field vision, like all this stuff is football. And so I was like, man, let's just get back to we're calling it ball out. Not that they didn't necessarily want to do it, but it's just more or less of like, I'm willing to sacrifice this other stuff to make sure that everything else is here. And a lot of other guys are too. But that's the long-winded answer, Sim, on that, is like, that's what I'm excited as hell for 27 of what's getting cooked in there. Yeah. But I don't want to overhype that portion for the fact of like, oh yeah, but you just released 20 selects. But I'm telling you, like, the way this train is moving is like, it's different. You don't have, dudes in the chat don't have to believe it. Like, I'm cool with it. Like, I get it. So I'm not going to be like, oh man, they're just EA haters and they don't want, like, nope. I remember being there, and you're like, okay. So I'm just like, hey, at the end of the day, there will be things about 26 that piss you off. There'll be things that you love. And it's just like, all right, man, how can we just kind of keep stacking the dubs? I love like Flight, you know, Flight White 24.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I've known that dude since he had like 2,000 followers. Remember doing live? And he has this thing. He's like, yeah, that's a lowercase W. Okay, that's an uppercase W. Like, it has me dying, but I'm like, yeah, I get it. Like, he's like, okay. So that's it. It's like any type of skepticism or stuff I'll read, maybe even in the comments, but on X, I'm like, all right, man, cool. All right, I get it.
And that's the thing, guys. Like, this is why I'm so glad that, in full transparency, OG reached out. So, because I know that's what, y'all probably just went and got your boy. No. He hit me up. Hey, man, y'all going on?
We're coming on. My only request is that the whole band was together.
The whole band. And AZ will be back here.
Where's AZ?
AZ's coming.
He'll be back in a second.
AZ had so many comments around servers and things like that, and he's the one getting sniped in the chat.
Yeah, man, this is, like I said, it's a conversation, guys, because OG is as real as it comes when you talk about developers slash passion at heart for the gaming, the realism, and there's many more. We talked about Scan earlier. Y'all have no idea.
Oh man,
You
Scan.
guys have no idea. So I'm glad that you were able to at least share that information. I had already heard from somebody else that, hey man, wait till you see 27. We already excited about where we going there.
Yep.
But I want people to understand, and even if you can speak on this to some degree, OG, I want people to understand, I always say this. If you're in the box that you feel like Madden has been trash through 25, and we're not going to include college because college came back with a bang. I ain't even judging that the same way because that game is off and running. But if you think Madden has been trashed through Madden 25, how do you expect in 26 now it's just the best thing on the market? Like, it has to be, you're gonna make the game better, but you can't, it's impossible to cover everything that you wanted if you were at a point where you felt like the game was trash. So can you kind of explain to people the development cycle, so to speak, and how some things have to wait until the next time? It might not have got in this year, but it's already on your radar.
Like Weathervall is an example, right? When that tech comes in, how it's going to come in, where are you trying it out at first? Obviously, because you're using a lot of the same tech, but it's definitely not as easy. And then two, you want to make sure that each game does not really lose its identity at the same time. But there's other things, as you've noted, Smitty's noted, others have noted. Like, at the end of the day, there's core football things. And it's like, hey, at these core football things, there's no reason it should be in one game and maybe in not the other, right? And so, I mean, that's more or less of the outlook of it. But I can tell you guys, I haven't told you, I might have told you, Sim, after we launched, I think. College 25 was the most nerve-wracking launch I've ever had in like 15 years in the industry, or just about. And you said, what is that for? Like, there was a lot of things. One, I wanted to beat it because they didn't know my football background like you guys did. But two, like, that's why I stayed quiet when I came, right? It was like, what is he working on? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, man, I'm just head down in the streets, going here. But there was high expectation. Well, first, it's going to be a Madden reskin, right? That was what everybody said. Okay. And then you have, I'm learning the tech again on the football side, right? Because basketball and football, different at that time. And so trying to get that, what can it do? What can it not do? More or less of the things that, you're asking for on how it's supposed to play. So, you're more or less going that. And then it becomes, well, you got, then that trailer comes out, Welcome to the Jungle drops. And then it just goes boom, right? Just goes through the roof. Everything starts to look good. But we took chances. And you say, what are the chances? Like, wear and tear has never been introduced in a football game ever. We've all asked for it, right, in a roundabout way. But like, we wanted that, right? Everybody in this room would agree with that. That is not the easiest system to ever put in, especially in football, right? Where there's a collision with every position, damn near every play. There's walk to line, bringing that back correctly, where you're keeping everything live. You're not warping to the line. You're not doing any of that. No huddle walk to the line. You're changing the entire ability system. And it wasn't to be different. It was like, hey, we felt that this was the best way for not only college football, but more or less American football. And then those times and things go, and then how much, okay, can Madden take that? Can they not take it? A lot of that is just more or less of time, resources, and then systems it's also connected to, right? Because X Factors is also connected a lot to the back end of franchise. So it's not as easy as saying, oh, just go take college's abilities like that. That's the whole, those things, it's time and place. But I firmly believed, like, hey, in our team is like, this is the best way to do it. And then gameplay is presentation, and presentation is gameplay. You see the HUD that comes out where your gameplay is still live there. Dog, that's what we had in Gen 2, essentially, right? Like, you just going back to our old ways, but modernize it, making it better. And then ways to improve. You just do it. But like, that's what it was. Presentation it was like, here's your run out, boom, boom, it snaps, but you're right back into the game. Like it wasn't really long and drawn out. So a lot of people skip. But yeah, so.
We have a question in the chat, and the only reason why I'm approaching this one now is, you know, you've seen my streams. When somebody donates, first of all, thank you very much. And I highlight their question. He says, X Big White says, I have a question. How come in college football, the head coaches do not have headsets, but in Madden they do? He wants to know, is it a memory thing, a hardware limitation? And I'll add to that, or is it purposely done that way?
No, we had them working at one time, and then I think we had like some technical issues with them. I think at that point, I don't know, because it could be the tech with the head, but I mean, I know we had them. I don't know if they will come back or if it will be a next year thing. To be honest with you, that was an art thing. I know at one time I think they were trying to get them in there and working. I've seen that a couple of times come up through mine. I think I've answered it a few times, but that's it.
Cool. Let me see what else I got on my plate. Go ahead,
There's
Smitty.
a lot. This chat is popping in here.
Yeah, I would say, you know, from what OG was saying earlier when Sim was asking about tapping into the future, and I just was saying, like, I know some won't believe it per se, but to hear the slight level come up in excitement a little bit in OG, to hear that, it's like that to me, because we know, but it's like when I hear that from you, it's a subtlety, you know what I mean? That's like seeing Azure go up an octave and come out of that southern drawl, that mellow. You know what I mean? If he come out of that, it's like, oh yeah, he excited. It may sound like he's just normal, but like, no, he excited. So it's like,
but our approach is still, like, to be completely honest with you, and 3-year plans and that, like, you got to have them. The guys want them above you, and they should, as AZ was alluding to. Like, how organized are you? How kind of in tune with your plan? But and we do all those things. I do them. They've always been done, even dating back to the 90s. I work with a guy that's been doing this since I think like 96. Rob Jones, my right-hand man.
Rob Jones.
He worked on the first franchise mode in Madden, I think in 2000. So there's all that stuff, but plans can change. And so I've always been a huge fan of agile development, to where it's like, hey, this doesn't come in. So I'm treating this always very much of like, dude, we're taking this thing all the way. Dude, we patched pitches in like March.
Oh, wow.
Right. And so those also have somewhat of an effect, but we were like committed to being like, oh, okay, hey, we'll work in parallel best that we can. Right. But at some point you started, the tech gets to a point where like, hey, you're improving the tech. I can't patch this back in. You can't do other things. And so you just try to pick and choose your battles in that point. But definitely excited as hell. But like, this is a damn good game in 26. Like, you can't play 25. And like, you guys know me, and I've said that 100 times now, but like, chat doesn't have to believe me. So I'm like, I get it. Like, you're not going to hurt my feelings, dude.
I
like,
get it. Yeah.
Damn, I was sitting in the same spot, just like, hey, man, I've heard that before.
Right.
So I was like, hey, and when I came on, I told you, I was like, hey, if I don't believe in something, or something's kind of whack, or as the kids would say, mid, your boy's not saying anything. Like, I'm just going to I'll just keep it silent, whatever. And go from there. Like, I'm not going to do it. But if I'm telling you it was there, my boy Ben Kurt is one of the dopest dudes, by the way, why everybody's kind of slipping, because they see the EA sponsored thing on his stuff. That dude has helped myself the past 2 years. He was a guy, former quarterback in there, huge gamer. No one had talked with him. I reached out, caught him on the side. He loved it. And just going back and forth, I was like, man, this dude's a real one. Like, he's a legitimate real one. And then we got him in. We're talking about all the different China routes, all the different types of Chinas that you can do. Like, hey, this is kind of what I'm thinking for hot routes. Remember, because we made the hot route change too, right? There was no hot route master, and people were like, well, why is this here and it's not Madden? I'm like, well, I'm only speaking for college on this thing. But in my opinion, working with all these different people, crews, it was like, hey, like, every quarterback should have access, to the 0 through 9 route tree. And that's all that was. You know, whether you don't have wheels or whatever, hey, but 0 through 9, you should be able to have access to that. And so he's a one, like, guys I would really leverage like a lot.
You stronger than that, dude.
Hey,
yeah, I had to
Easy
jump in the
going back
pair.
here.
there you go. All right, he's back on.
Yeah, I muted him. So here's another question, and I'll do it because it's our guy, Sim Gaming Network. I'm gonna reframe his question because I've always felt differently about this, and maybe you can shed some light on it. He's asking, is there a time frame from moving away from Frostbite? But the reason why that question has come up is many people have felt that since Madden went over to Frostbite and away from, what was it, Ignite?
From the Ignite set.
They feel like Frostbite is holding the game back. I feel differently about that.
I don't subscribe to that at all.
The main reason I would say that, there's many features in FIFA that I always wanted Madden to have. It's on Frostbite. I just never believed. I mean, again, I'm not a super techie person in terms of that type of technology, but could you expound on, is there any disadvantage of you guys' creativity with the games being on Frostbite? And by the way, college is on Frostbite too, right? Okay.
College is, Frostbite's incredible. In my time with it, I would not. I wouldn't do that. I mean, and the other partner teams that we've had, and talking with the other teams, whether it's FC, they've been like outstanding in that regard. No, I wouldn't. You wouldn't catch me on that one. I mean, more or less on that. I don't subscribe to that at all. I don't know. I know many people have said that in the past or use it as a crutch or whatever. I don't find that to be true at all in my experience.
And also,
I don't know if
go ahead. Go ahead, AZ. Go ahead.
Asked you this question, but how has artificial intelligence impacted development? Just integrating AI into what you all are doing. Like, how has that been?
Good question. I mean, I think it's like, right, you're seeing it right now in your everyday lives. I've always been, I mean, that's what I started in. Right? And doing that and seeing what we can do. I don't know. I am still a heavy, especially in the football space, heavy AI guy. Like, I know there's the comp scene and everything else. And I respect that. And you could still be a really good player. But at the end of the day, like, there's still 20 CPU players on the field. Like, there's a lot. Like, the basketball game does it. It's 5 users versus 5 users. Dota, League of Legends, Street Fighter, right? So there's that pay. It's like, no, this is still incredibly important.
Very.
So in that space, absolutely. Obviously, you see the stuff going on with, Chat GPT and everything else that's going on there. But like, the space is only going to take off. I know you guys saw Field Vision and all that. I mean, that's just, and then we literally reworked the entire AI progression system. So I'm sure that's, I know you guys are noted to your Madden beta feedback. You see it a lot in Madden, and then Madden has the traits on the other end of it. Like, college has the same traits, but not as many or as signature, obviously, of what Madden has, which is awesome. But like, you can tell the difference immediately of a 65 awareness guy now, more or less than you have before. Like, he'll look, okay, I got smash on this side. It's a 1 read. Oh, I got to get out, tunnel vision, like a normal, like a freshman would, where you get a guy who's like 80 plus 90, those guys, I mean, they can get to their third, fourth, they can get to a backside read if they want, because we had to change it because it was like FCS Southwest or these other schools are like dicing dudes up, and then, or they'd be like really bad and you're trying to figure it out. And this is like, I feel like it's going to be a multi-year thing. So you may hear me talk about it again next year and the year after that and the year after that, right? So
do you see a space maybe, because you have kind of moved to this space in Madden, but to where there is so you have like draft pool or draft class, not eligibility, but like you can say, okay, I want the quarterbacks in this class to be weak, or the sliders. Do you see a space in the future where college has a space to where a commissioner can be like, okay, I want this class of incoming freshmen to be this way, or I want
Totally.
this. Right.
Yeah, I do see that. Absolutely. I would love that.
Ooh, okay.
And I say that more or less of whether it's a class or it's and that class of guys coming into your college game, more or less of like, I say that AZ in the fact of like, I just love giving tools, me personally. Others do too, but I don't want to speak for them. That's why you're a lot on Twitter too. Like, I've gotten in trouble before giving dudes props. Because dudes is like, hey man, like, they're like, hey man, I don't even want people to know that I do it. I just love working. I'm like, all right, I get it. So again, not selfishly, but I'm speaking for myself in this regard of like wear and tear was like, we just couldn't get to it last year, but it was like, you just customize it however you want. So you take this and you have your league and your dynasty, your franchise. Here you go. Cool. Go have fun. The way that you
I
want to
already
go have
told
fun.
my league, I hope y'all boys know how to build a roster, because that wear and tear gonna be on. You better use your substitutions, because hey, we chess matching over here. Ain't no
I love it.
15, 17, 2,000-yard receivers going on. You're gonna have to spread the ball out and use your roster effectively. So
I love that.
I appreciate
No,
that.
that's
That
great.
was huge.
Yeah, so that's the whole thing you can do, because we weren't going to please everybody. Like, I knew that, and it wasn't like, oh, it doesn't mean we're not shipping it. Hell no. Like, we're going in because this is the football solution to the football problem. This is what we're doing, like, in this regard. So it was like, you guys, sim heads, franchise guys, there were some that were like, it's not strong enough, believe it or not. And there were two pretty much bugs that if you didn't really hit them, it was pretty clean, which I was happy about. There was one, sometimes you land on top of a guy and it doesn't register that he's down, like it doesn't, you don't even hear the whistle blow, and you kind of like levitates on a guy. Like there was one where if you fell on a pile randomly and it just shook, like it would just keep registering a hit.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, so if you ran into that, it's like, oh, dude, after 2 hits, he's blah, blah, blah. And there's a reserve pool that people can recover from. But I was like, okay, I get it. But it was still more of a rarity, but it could happen. So, solving that was a big one. But at the end of the day, it was like, hey, AZ, you want sacks to matter more, or you want hit sticks to matter? Cool, just turn that knob up a little bit.
Yeah,
so you got
like
another one.
Smitty says, find your fishbowl and swim it.
Swim in it.
Yeah.
But you got to give us the tools to create that fishbowl.
Right.
So kudos to your team for providing the tools, because that's some of the stuff we've been asking for to be able to kind of do that.
I like that theme too, man. If y'all notice, OG keeps saying football solutions for football problem. Like they're not just what y'all used to hear us say years ago. The Band-Aid fixes seems to be a thing of the past in terms of mindset. I'm not sitting here saying that there's not going to be something that they have to tune really quick, but I'm saying clearly that's the focus going forward. So I love hearing that. And again, I don't expect anything differently from OG. And that's why, again, if some of you guys are being critical of this conversation, we know who we're talking to. So it's not, we don't have to ask these random questions that I would ask a dev, let's say even a Battlefield dev. I don't really know those guys. So I would probably be asking them, well, what about this? And what about, I don't have to do that with OG. We did have another donation again from Big White. Thank you, sir. Appreciate the Wonder Bread. His question is, and I knew this was coming, is there ever going to be a chance, or do you foresee us being able to import draft classes from college football into Madden? And, I mean, I know it's a whole NIL is probably interfering with that, but has there been any talk of maybe somewhere down the road you found a way around that?
The talks are always happening. Don't know where that is going to land, but like, dude, like the NIL stuff is changing constantly.
Yeah.
Right. I'm looking at it for my daughter when she goes to school. Right. And this, the whole, and not saying for the, that part, but it's like, hey, certain schools have this and players and the way things are moving. don't know, probably don't have a great answer for that at this moment, you know, obviously, but it's more or less of like, oh yeah, but those things are definitely talks and stuff, you know, so hopefully, you know, something can happen.
Shout out to SGN. Appreciate your Wonder Bread, sir. He says, wind, speed, and direction being on the field goal meter.
That's a good question. I can't.
Okay.
I should. Yeah, I should know. I thought we made some changes there. Let me double check. Let me double check there, because I want to speak for one and not the other. Because Madden's looks different than college. Should know that. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. Very good question.
Man, I had a good one and I lost
So it's a
it.
little detailed. There's so many of those things. Somebody else asked me something the other day about. So I'm like, golly, you just forget. That's another thing, man. These games are huge.
Yeah.
Like
They are.
huge, man. You forget. So you're like, oh, you know.
Dang, I had another good one and I forgot it, man. It'll come back to me, but what about some of the, and again, OG is probably laughing inside of me asking these questions because he knows that I know he wants all of this stuff, but I'm asking for you guys.
Yeah. Yep.
What about little things, man? And then maybe this is one of my things too, like more degradation on jersey, field. Like, are we gonna get to a point, or have you guys talked about maybe even like in the snow with heavy snow? I was expecting this year, especially in Madden, that now when the body hits the snow, you see the skid, or if you slide, you get the mud in real time. Like, has there been any talk of bringing those things or those elements at some point?
Absolutely, all those stuff. Just matters of win, and then the entire, you know, stack rank game against something else, right? And so you got that, or you got, you know, like the machine learning stuff that we got with college and faces, and like I said, just depends on when things can come in, and that's no, it's not the most exciting answer.
Oh no!
But you know, there's that. There's the different body types, and then you know gloves, cleats, stadiums. So that's usually, you know, what those things are being asked. 300 real world coaches, like that was obviously a big undertaking, you know, big taking for the guys right there on that side. But absolutely, that stuff is noted and on there 100%.
Now I got two questions, pretty much based off of what was being spoke of earlier. But like, are you guys? I know that, you know, the Madden and the college football development is kind of side by side, which is cool. But in addition to that, is tech still is a sharing of technology still a thing going on in the studio? Like, something can be pulled from FIFA or FC, or something pulled from NHL and can be potentially implemented into the football games?
Some are more challenging than others, for certain. But we've pushed like one football the whole time since I've been back. So what does that mean is like you're saying, like, okay, here's wear and tear. Boom. You know, here's these systems. Oh, here's revamp. Revamp passing started in college. And then you guys had asked for it. And it was like, hey, dog, where's revamped? I need revamped in this thing, man. I can't, you know, okay, cool. Boom.
Okay.
But like, you know, that's a little bit more, even though, you know, you're on shared and you're doing things, right? But you still, well, hey, you don't really want the same UI going with it, right? So you want to make sure you Maddenize it. And so that's time spent, you know, against something else. So.
Okay. Because like the second part that I have with that is because with being on Frostbite and everything as well, and you guys are maximizing on that technology too. I know you can't answer it, of course, but I would love to see in the future, since it's been done in one area, I would love to see jersey pulls. Because you got that that's in FIFA.
Yes,
that's done in FIFA. So it's like, and that was a feedback point that I gave like a long time ago to when Rex was in the building and all that. But it's like to see how they had the organic physics and how players got impacted, and they were like grabbing the shoulder, grabbing it in the lower back, and you saw the pull and the restraint. Like
that was
my question.
Smitty.
Crazy to see
that was it.
reach tackling happen, and you know, dude doesn't get a good grip, but at the same time, he's pulling the jersey, or better yet, some cases pulling that towel.
I was going to say, Smitty, are they even pulling jerseys anymore with how tight they are? I would argue it's the undershirt that gets ripped at this point.
I mean, yeah, that's
like Puka Nakua's undershirt gets ripped every Sunday. It's definitely not his jersey. Dude, those dudes have to put the jersey on separately just to fit up in. They got trainers helping them get in there. That's how much of an advantage it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's not valid, 100%. But here's what will happen. You get it in, and then we have a bad 3 technique that doesn't get blocked on a trap play, and Smitty's got a video out going, oh, look at this. You got jersey pulls. You couldn't block the trap correctly. I'm just playing.
Or Azure would love this one. Big Simmons for the Titans will just be grabbing everybody.
That's right.
But that was my question that I said I forgot. But I was basically going to say, and I mentioned it in my video today, was, with the jerseys animating now, would we get to a point finally where, okay, now we can grab that jersey, and what it would do for holding and defensive holding, run and pass in the trenches. Like, it would be crazy. But I try to explain to people that with us being educated now from coming down there, these things are not as easy as it sounds. It's just, I always try to give my feedback based off of what I see potentially happening in the game or what I might see in another game. And then I can say, oh, okay, so it is possible. So.
Yeah.
And my question was going to be, my bad, OG, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was going to say, the question was going to be, are you guys even thinking of little things like that? Like, as you look at the game broadly?
Absolutely. My thing is more or less of like, is there a 1.0 to that solve before I get to 4.0, 5.0? Right? Like, I could probably get that in different animation content where I'm grabbing you, and it's just like, it looks like, hey, he's in a 9 technique trying to get outside, and I'm, and I could get that with, so is there different ways to solve that in the turn before you get there?
Yeah.
So absolutely. But that was what we did. So it doesn't sound like they're PC answers here, because I'm not going to do that. But that was what we had when we did quarterback revamp. Myself and Legend, Larry Rehart, had gotten together, and I was like, yo, Legend, this looks terrible. Like, it drives me crazy. Like, it should look as good as a pitch in a baseball game or a jumper in a hoops game. Like, this is the iconic position. So they hear it, you read it in the blog. I'm like, nah, dude, that is exactly what was said when we met. Like, how do we get this, like, the fade route? How many times you see for years, you throw a ball and then it goes, whoop, and it pops up like that, right? So it was like, hey, it's got to come off of the index finger last. How he pronates his hand. Okay, screw all this stuff in the pat. We're going to recapture all this stuff and just really attack this thing, So throwing on the run, throwing off your back foot, throwing screens, throwing hot. And there's still more stuff we want to get to, but it was like, man, so when you guys are in replay or doing things like, man, it's just got a different feel to it. It's got a different look. And like, those little things equal out to a big things, especially if you have enough of them. And so just for so many years, my opinion of one, I just thought it was so bad. The back foot swinging way over the top, like it's like 1975. I'm like, no one's throwing a football like that anymore. Like, right? You've seen all these 7-on-7s and elite things. And I mean, you're seeing Brady, his video on how to throw a football for anybody is phenomenal. Where your power comes from, how you get through it, how it's that's the type of detail that we had to get to, and not just say, well, that's, hey, we got these amount of passes. Like, no, let's have it for everything that we can. So in college, they have the arm slots, the generic, the base arm slots, and then like Madden has that plus everything SIG, which is super sick. Dak's got his, Herbert's got his, Stafford's got his, like everybody throughout it's awesome. Go ahead, AZ.
I am, I'm deep in the commissioner streets.
Yes, you are.
Discord is the main, thing that we run these leagues through. And do you ever see a future to where a companion app will keep users collected with the league? Because I get tired of, I call it babysitting grown individuals.
Yes,
but one of the things that you have to have is connectivity. So like to me, I need my league to send out a message. Hey, you and this person hadn't played yet. We need y'all to play so that we can move on.
Right.
Like, I think one of the things, and I've tried to pull Sim and pull Smitty in, and they swim in their fish bowls. One of the best things
I might come back this year.
ever is playing in a CFM or a dynasty with other people and competing. Because, I mean, truth be told, I probably wouldn't do it this year because y'all have upped the AI, but I just whoop on the computer. The computer is not a challenge to me. I like putting my smarts against another player who has this is my strategy, these are my players, this is my team. Like I get a kick out of playing chess in that fashion. But I need for my league to know, hey, we moving. Because let's be honest, last cycle I set out, I was like, we're gonna get 10 seasons in. Now 10 seasons with users is hey, you flying. We do 1 day off seasons. So we get on, so in college we'd say, okay, we're gonna take time and do transfer portal, all that stuff. We do that in the time that we do a Madden draft. So a Madden draft takes about an hour and 30 minutes if you got users who are, on their stuff. You can skip people or whatever. That's cool.
Sure.
But we do that with college, and that makes our seasons go so much faster. So we sit up and say, okay, it's going to take as much time as it is for a Madden draft, but you got 15 minutes for this stage, 10 minutes for this stage, and that's how we fly through it. But I'm saying on the companion side, there's nothing there in that space that says, let's connect these people together and help them run this league.
No, definitely been discussed, 100%. Just no different than a lot of like jersey polls and stuff like that. It's more or less of, but
Shout out to Neon Sports.
If that stuff is on the board,
the companion.
Oh yeah, Neon.
And it's funny you mentioned the AI side. My goal, I know others, but again, I'll keep their name out of the streets for the sake of it. Like I want our hardcore competitive guys externally and internally being able to play the CPU, and it's an authentic like schematic, like damn, I never get the looks, like almost like it's easier to play against a user. You know what I'm saying? Like when you go and you're like, oh man, most of these users are just gonna run 2-man under and do this and do that double mug stuff.
It's
and
close.
So that was the whole vision, right? Of bringing real-time coaching over. Like, my passion for that and adaptive AI and authentically changing. So there was that portion of it, but authentically doing it. You've done X, and that's when you read in the blog about a 9-box. So now, in its first year of the 9-box implementation, no different what you would see when we grew up on Sundays. We see passing charts, hey, medium right, medium middle, deep left. And now they're calling the different type of either combo coverages or mixed coverage, just whatever, just stop whatever you're trying to do. And you get to your next counter, right? You have a counter for a counter for a counter that hopefully when you're matching up against somebody, user, he's not doing that. And so it's almost easy. That's the goal, right? It's
now,
getting there. That's
if
the goal.
You get to that point, you're going to see one of them little versus masks come out of nowhere, and versus gonna come back and be videos on Skynet is watching. So just go ahead and get ready.
Let me tell you
something. He's gonna come back. He's gonna pop out of nowhere. Skynet is back.
Right.
See, they don't even know about them good times in YouTube.
Right. Yeah.
Apex is free. Versus Brozels, they don't know about none of them people.
It ain't that far away though. Like I didn't get a chance to play the college beta, but that Madden beta, I'm gonna tell you right now, on all Madden, dog, dumb QB. Let me tell you something. You ain't winning all those games. I'm gonna just say it right now, unless. And me and AZ don't subscribe to cheese. Like when me and him played, we made the worst Maddens look beautiful when we play. I'm telling you now, if you play a straight up style of football, you will not win every game on all Madden. It ain't gonna happen. Them QBs, I don't even know how y'all did that. Like he said, Josh Allen.
The rewrite of the progression system, and then you combine it with the traits, and then
oh my Lord.
I don't know if I put it in the blog or not, but like I want to use overhauled and all new. Like I don't want to do all that, but more or less like we revamped like a lot of the deep shot logic When do they take them? Why do they take them? Hey, here's a chance to take them.
They take them.
And everything starts to lead of like, so, and that's the thing. It's like either that or when dudes stem down a corner route or doing whatever, I'm like, okay, well, why can't we stop it? I'll just bring the dudes together. We just bring them in. Like, what's the football solution here? I don't know. Our hard flats aren't really getting there. This guy's got to come down. Okay, can we do that? Let's make sure that okay. Well, this just beats this coverage. Well, then I don't care. Good call against the, a bad call. Like
it happens in the NFL every Sunday.
I've always said there's no defense for a perfect pass. Yep. And the fastest thing on the field is the ball.
It is the football.
Used to make me so mad when people would cover 20, 30 yards in an instant. And I'd be like, dog, if you're not Ed Reed or somebody that physically gifted, that's not happening. And then you got people on there doing it. So
it's like it's the same thing when you look at like wham or duo blocks and things like that. You can see that. I think it was Ray Weather's video. I like because it's like, oh, you want to keep putting in a light box? All right, we're going to just double. We're going to get to the second level, and we're just going to pound you inside in the run game because they can go and do those things and get off of that zero technique, get up to the level, and like, oh, okay, now make it. Like that was the one that drove me nuts. Like initially when I had come back, like, why are people staying in dime and nickel personnel so much? Like you should get crushed in those situations, right?
Smitty,
where
applicable, right? That's one of my pet peeves.
Speaking his language,
because I love running the ball, and I'd be like, how are they in a pass defense and they just crashing and stopping my run? But
that's what get on my nerves playing him though, because we both know what we want to do.
We want to run
We want to run the ball. It's oh my God. It's literally a chess match when we play. Because I'm like, all right, is he going to play action here? Or AZ will pull it out on third down because he know I'm expecting it on second and one.
That's what I'm talking about. Like,
think
kind
about
of stuff.
I was going to say, think about the other things, right? Like if you hold, like a lot of people don't know, you hold LT inside like the red zone, it will throw it to the back pylon. It's a back pylon pass.
Yeah.
If you're going to go and I'm throwing it to that. But that was the whole thing of like, even when we did revamped and people see like the red or whatever, but like revamp, it's a different version of classic, but like classic and revamp give you the most trajectories, like without question.
I love revamp.
Like it's not even close. And it's like, well, I don't see the indicator on the field, but your left stick is doing the same thing.
Doing everything.
You just don't have to press LT to get that. But they don't see the visual indicator, or they see like a red or an orange. That's more or less, and that was inspired by MVP baseball, which is one of the greatest of all time, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so what that was, if you remember, we're dating ourselves here, but like Jeter's in the game, like if he had a strong arm or a play was back in the hole, you had to put something on it, right? And so if he was great, so his red was low. Where if you played somebody out of position or didn't have the arm, he had to make that play back in the hole. The more you were in the red, the more it went. It was like, well, this is the same thing on the digital gridiron. If I'm trying to throw a 35-yard dig, if I try to throw it as hard as I can, that's going to have consequences.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Unless I got that type of arm strength and accuracy. So we took both of those in there, and it's like, oh, okay, that's what it's going to decide. But everybody just holds the damn thing as long as they can. So it's like
you can feel it in the beta.
Yeah.
I think you need to find, and this is just me, creators who will show that and kind of explain it. Like I know Shakedown was great with NBA 2K of controller, like showing on screen and then giving tutorials. Like I think football is missing that space of
the people
that
that do
ball
it
too hard. This is not a route that you need to throw. That kind of stuff.
I know a couple people that used to do it,
but
and you do too. I know a couple guys that used to do it all the time.
People used to do it, but they did it on a different level.
We used to do it all the time.
No, we're talking about on a football level, like
we're talking on a football level,
on a football level.
Like Kurt, he said Kurt. I think Kurt could do that.
Kurt
could definitely do that.
Kurt, I think like when his ability to break things down, glazing as the kids would say, Kurt is damn good. Like he can go down and say, here's this concept. I love how he says that I read it 1 to 2 to 3
Yeah.
or whatever. I'm
Beautiful.
gonna go 1 to 2. If I don't get, I'm like, damn, man, he's talking football, and that's
Right.
why it's always appealed me to be him. He's not trying to exploit the game or whatever. And even then, I don't even really want to hear that because I'm like, man, I want to fix that stuff in general, anyways. Like, why? What do you mean? Why can't we fix it? Oh, well, Matt should do it. Okay, then we'll just go ahead and keep, and fix it. Eventually, we'll keep doing it, and then dudes can.
I think that's a space for
that's okay. Yeah,
that's a space for you, Kurt. Go in there and
those,
learn how to control
those coverages are back too. By the way, those matches.
And his ability, which I feel, I don't know if I relate a lot to it in the fact, if you guys remember, I would do the same thing on the basketball side.
Yeah.
And you'd go, hey, you want to read this side pick and roll, don't look here, look at that weak side 2-9 guy. He'll tell you wherever you need to go. Football, I can do that, but dude, there's levels to it.
Yeah.
I feel like I can do it at an elite level, and I know it, and it's like, this dude takes things to another level. You're like, okay, like the way, and so I love that.
Even the Czar, shout out to Czar. He used to do that.
Shout out.
Like, I don't think we had that space, that person or those people that you could just go to for that on the football side.
Madden, but see, the thing about that is that Madden hasn't been in this space.
The space,
right.
To represent it.
Like it hasn't been in that space where the gameplay was that appealing, that the depth suited on the field. You know what I mean? Because it was more about glitchy play, route mirroring, all that kind of stuff was going on. So it watered down the purpose of saying, let me show you authentic sim play. I know I just did 10 flaw videos, but let me show you the authenticity of, and that's what I'm saying. So it's like where the game is at now, a guy like Kurt can come through. Heck, I would love to see NY Kia get back in the mix.
Oh man,
this would be perfect time for him to come back because he taught it. He did like 20, 30-minute seminar videos covering zone plays and things like that, and how you should cover and what this does versus that, when you should pick it, not pick it. So like, it would be great with the game being in this space, and especially as long as the development continues in this direction, then no doubt, because the more the chess match comes into the fold, the better off we're going to be.
For example, like, not only that, like, you guys know, like, I don't think we have a ton of successful guys who have been awesome in this industry who haven't played sports. But there's a lot of us who have or have done it at a level, and they see the money and everything else, and I'm like, no, dude, like, ignore that. Like, it's the 6 a.m.s constantly. It's playing after you've thrown up a few times. It's like mentally being exhausted, or like even my last year in the pro, you're playing 4 games in 5 nights and you've flown into 4 different spots. Like, there's that umph that's there that comes with it. For example, we brought in a former defensive backs coach, I think with the Broncos. He did stuff with the Jets, won a Super Bowl with the Broncos. He went in everything about our run fits. I'd shut out his name, but I hadn't gotten, I'd tell him first. But so when you come in to look at our run fits this year, and you're like, oh, okay, the jet sweep's getting stopped at this level, this thing. And I'm proposing these problems to him. He's like, I think you could do this, this, this. And then he's in there, and it's like, there you go, right? Because there's just levels to this thing, and he's been able to break down and take it immediately. Another thing, again, we just love this talking football. I'll try to answer some more as they come in here. So Sim, you may need to help me. Saquon had 6 runs last year, over 65 yards for TDs. We've all played against extremely fast people. Extremely fast people. How many times do you think you've got somebody and then he just gets the corner, right? And so that was the thing. We probably went a little too hard on college, and then we polished it up this year. But like, at the same time, like, oh, pursuit. I'm like, if you want everybody to be perfect pursuit, you're going to have everybody playing like the Terminator. Right. You'll never get the big runs. You'll never, because I could show you, I have them on my phone. I've sent them out to everybody on our squad. Of like, I have to be able to do this in Madden, period. It happened against my Rams twice. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, so there's levels to it. Obviously, you don't want a guy taking a clear one and he just all of a sudden shoots a bad one. But there's different. It's a tight space. But if you'll see it on YouTube. Somebody gets one. Oh, look at the pursuit angles. Oh, and I'm like, dog, I could show you 30
The missed blocks. I'm already seeing it. People saying it already.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, whether it's a missed assignment, there's consistency in the behavior of a Madden or college. Like, dude, okay, you win. Like, I get it. We'll go ahead and we'll try to hammer it. But at the same time, we have to build some air into these players too. Of like, he's not going to take it perfect.
Nobody's going to get it perfect every time. Like you don't have that player on the football field. I mean, think about some of those rosters that you have. Like the Titans left tackle. Like, it was. How do you account for J.C. Latham being new to that position? And then now he's switching back over to right tackle. But he played left tackle his first year in the NFL. Like, there's no way he's going to be blocking Myles Garrett for 35 passing plays.
Right. What would they do? They would slide the protection to him, and they would double team, or they would do different things. Like a lot of our users don't want to. They don't want to do that.
They don't want to do.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it, and so you're just kind of like, well, but that's also why the results happening, right? So so T.J. Watt he not win 1-on-1 against a 72 rated left tackle. Like, you're putting him in that position.
You should have to account for that.
Yep.
Like, you
Wear and
should know.
tear was the same thing. Like, you go in there, and like you watch it, and it's like a guy's going to throw it 40-something times. So you keep hitting him. Well, until wear and tear came in, that hit meant nothing. It meant nothing unless you got a sack. I never understood. So it was like, I get it. Hey, your guy is getting hit. Oh, like people don't like the negative stuff. Overall, it was overwhelmingly positive. But I'm speaking of the other ones, or maybe some comp guys that have run it. I'm like, man, we're playing football. This is what we're going to do. And it leads me to another point. As we were in there, right? As you go in, you got the comp scene, you have the sim scene, you have this scene. What I ended up finding out, and I would just talk with them. RG's like our guy, right?
Yeah.
Like, I talked to RG, like right when I got back, I sat with him for hours, and I was like, hey, I'm coming from this competitive scene. There's no CPU players, right? There's none. Whether it comes to shooting and frame count, animation canceling, and all that, like it's there. Ours is different. What are you asking for? And there's a lot of things, like you guys go and you run like an over under. You got this, and you got a seam. You got a drag underneath. You hit the guy in the chest. Like, a lot of sim guys don't want that drop either. Drop passes happen, but like there's no stat. There is no stat that we have that I've seen. A ball that hits you right in the chest. How many times do you think that's dropped? Drops happen all the time, but I'm talking they're happening like, off target pass down here. Like, I'm talking about in the numbers. Like, that should be an incredibly low chance, right? I'm like, well, we're asking for the same thing here. And so that was like why college didn't ship game styles. It's like, we're asking, like, we should just make football. Like, just keep going in here and just going from there. Like, I don't want to say, like, I throw it here, it's 100% going to happen. Like,
oh, man.
I don't, because now you're throwing all the different calculations and things that we have. And so now this year in 26, both Madden and college, a lot of that stuff has changed. But before, it was when we were all together, it was like, here's this side and here's this side. And really, outside of penalties, like, it's been there. And even comp guy or competitive guys will want penalties, right? They're more like user initiated. I hit over the middle. Where's the PI? And so it's a different thing. But I thought there ended up being, there was a lot more common ground than I once remember, I should say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trust me, like there's a lot more. It's not completely like, it's not like all the way, but it's like very much so of like, because comp guys are playing college all the time. It was simulation setting.
Boy, there's so much information. Right? Let's let me get to some of these questions. You guys who donated. Round of applause to you guys, man. I'm gonna throw it really quick. It's gonna play. Appreciate the Wonder Bread, man. And I'm gonna do this like I'm gonna borrow a phrase from Nori on his podcast. It's gonna be like quick time with slime. Real quick. I'm gonna hit these questions fast so we can keep talking for a bit. And we won't be much longer. One of them is Josh Elmore says, I noticed that the new coach approval is similar to what was in head coach 09. Is that game an inspiration for the future Madden franchise mode? I'm gonna give my quick answer and then I'll let OG do it. I'm gonna say yes, only because Josh Lumen is back.
Josh was on it. Yeah, that was going to be my answer.
That's his game.
I'll leave that. Yeah.
So
yeah, Josh and I have had a lot of conversations, man. Josh is dope. We obviously go back. Him and I missed each other, I think, like technically. And then now that he's back, I'm back. It's been really, really, really cool. Kind of brings it back to the what was that? There was 12, and then there was the Connected Careers that day that we were all there. So I remember that. So so it was just good just to kind of go back there, like
that should give you all a little bit of an answer. OG mentioned it earlier, but if you're smart enough to figure it out when he talked about why he came back, I want y'all to also remember Josh left and he came back. There's something to that. And this was before I even talked to OG. I said, there's something to that these guys have come back and they're willing to come back. And again, he's the head coach 09 creator. So I imagine franchises will be just fine. The next one, I'm going to rephrase this question. Shout outs to Game Time Network. But the way you asked this question, OG's not going to answer it like that. He says, can O-line blocking be fixed? We need a little more context to that.
Oh, yeah.
And then he says, what about challenge? So I will expand on that question because that was one of my questions. For years. We've all felt like the challenge system is just outdated.
Sure.
I mean, there's no shame here. OG has worked for 2K, so there's no shame with saying their name. 2K5 and 2K8, their challenge system was where it needed to be, where you could challenge offsetting things and things like that. So has there been any talk about that? And I know that's probably going to be a huge undertaking because you got to kind of change the whole way the structure works. But are you guys talking about that at all as far as revamping the challenge system and making it more current?
Yeah, it's just more or less of like stages on how you do it. Do you do it, just more or less of that. Is it, obviously penalties and, which ones are online, which ones are off, which, so it's a bigger discussion. But yeah, no, absolutely. And that, again, it's just more or less of a stack rank game, things like that. And who are you going to put on it? Who's working, it's just normal stuff that happens. Yeah, absolutely. That stuff is all out there too. It's like, okay, then are we, are we introducing bad logic, like on purpose, like that was clear, so, and of course, but it's more or less of like, there's kind of the slope to it. How obvious is it? What can you do? Which you can do a bunch. So that's all. More or less priority order and try to things that we get. It doesn't mean it's not important to everybody. Trust me. Like it's just one of those things where it's like, you're going to take a lot of your time. I can only speak for me, and you'll take some of your time. It's like, can I get all of that? No, take the rest of it, throw it on blocking, or put it on this, and let's just move and go from there. I'm not saying that decisions ever happen. I'm just saying that's usually, to my knowledge, as that stuff goes.
Yep, I was going to say that earlier when you spoke it, because we know it priority, guys. And again, that word priority doesn't mean what they want to do. It's you got to make decisions. You only have a certain amount of time. So you're going to spend resources here. Is it a must-have now versus something really important over here? So again, it's all important, but these guys have to decide what they want to spend their resources on. It's a priority system.
Yeah, and so for some people, whether it's in the chat or on Twitter or X, formerly known as Twitter, like if that really upsets them, like, dude, I get it. I get it. Yeah. It's just more or less of like, hey, trying to bring everything in and try to do the best that you can within priority and go from there.
All right, we got a couple of other quick ones. SGN, Sim Gaming Network says, any plans for true coach mode? It's highly desired. So I would imagine head coach type of, you're just the coach type of, I guess it'd be more like you're not really playing, but like a head coach 09.
I just saw somebody, it might have been, was it not the expert? He was like, oh man, this is incredible. The biggest problem is I can't control the players. Yeah, that's the point of the mode, So again, how much of a hunger is it for that? I can't say I see a ton of it. Doesn't mean it's not important or whatever, that we shouldn't do it. But like I get it. Like, cause there's some that just want to sit in coach mode and play in like the broadcast camera and sit there. And I just feel like like our kids, they're never doing that.
Yeah.
Right. It's kind of like us, like growing up, like, oh, dude, I want to watch it. So doesn't mean it's not important to those crews. It's just more or less of how we can figure out a way we can get all of the stuff in, definitely.
Let's see the next one. And Vigilant Citizen, man, appreciate you dropping that dub out there. He says, will there be an additional defensive goal line formations to choose from based on one, he says the team defensive scheme, and two, what offensive personnel is projected to be on the field? That's a good question.
That's a really good question. Will there be different there are different formations. I don't know about the goal line portion. What I will tell users is we have changed, again, talking with NFL people, we've changed the way pinch, slide, and all that stuff works if you guys played it in the beta. So usually your traditional pinch in a 40 front, four-man front was 2 A gaps, 2 B gaps, usually, 2-1 techniques and a couple threes. Like, that's out. So they'll slide to where they need to slide based on the play that you called. But the big thing now is being to use the slant inside slant. That will get you what you used to get and more of that proper behavior. That's kind of like your pro tip of the day there. There's some people, well, pinching is not what it used to. And they're like, yeah, when you talk them, that's not football, how we should be doing it. I'm like, all right, cool. Like if that's what we're seeing there. And so, and I always say too, man, like even with all of us, like we live in the house of simulation. Like that's the goal, is to get that to simulation product. But it's like, hey, are you playing 15-minute quarters? It's like one of the first things, hey, right. Are you playing in first person or third person camera? No, man, I'm still playing in here. So it's like people will go, and you know what? Like I'm as sim as they get. Trust me, I'm keeping stats on RBI baseball on paper. Like I get it. I'm just saying, like, you'll see certain people to make arguments will take their own liberties and say, well, no, it has to be this, this, and this. And so I always say, like, this is where we try to get it, to there, but making sure it's fun and explosive. And I don't even like using the word fun because it's relative. What's fun for us is not going to be fun for like 10 other different people or a majority. So you're trying to just figure that out. So didn't answer that exactly, probably, but I know there's a ton there. And that might give you more. I know there's more options in there than what you had before. In goal line in particular, I'd have to dive deeper. There's so much stuff in the game, man. I wouldn't lie to you. Like, I guess, there's a ton. I wouldn't do that.
Man, there's a few more that came in.
Yeah, keep going.
Let's see. Vigilant Citizen again. He says, last question for OG. How close are we to have assigned matchups for defensive players and allowing corners, safeties to follow designated players? So I would assume he means a little more deeper than we have now with the overall speed and height. But really it's just saying, hey, you follow him the entire game regardless of where he lines up.
Yeah, I definitely want to keep going that route, especially you saw with like the safety alignment stuff that we did. Right, that was it. You can move them up in the box, move them back, to the field, to the boundary. So putting in all those, any type of schematic thing that we are missing, I wanted to get. And selfishly, the reason I like it so much is you guys remember like when Tua struggled in that national title game against Clemson?
Oh, yeah.
Well, they went with that flat alignment that everything looked like quarters. It was just everything. It was your two safeties and your corners, all about, I can't remember the depth, 6 to 8 yards back. It was like, and they were rolling coverage. So, and that was our thing with whole base align. Like myself and many other, I'm not a fan of base align. No. Like why do I want my corners sitting out there 10 yards away from the dude staring at the other end zone? Like, so it was like, okay, well, what's the ask? They use it because it doesn't do something. Let's make sure that we have that. And that's where shells had come in. Oh, you want to show two, peel into one, and or show one, go into two. Like that's a lot of, where we're trying to get to. I'm sure there's probably a lot of the tons of stuff that we're missing.
Let's see what else we got.
Drew,
we're going to go a little faster
next?
here. Yeah, Drew says, and I'm not going to put the year on it, guys. Again, I'm going to do as if I was a dev. I'm not going to give you a year, but I will ask the question, are there any plans for difficulty like sliders for recruiting?
I don't know if I would say any, or obviously can, say that any of that stuff would be happening. I know that stuff's, it's a tricky spot too, because I've heard it like, this should be harder here than this. Yeah, that's a good one though. I would have to ask Chad and crew. about it. Good question. Noted.
Richie, I'm not going to pronounce your last name because I don't want to mess it up, brother. He says, I love the play sheets feature in franchise mode. Very realistic, but I fear the attribute upgrades across the mode may cause unrealistic player growth. Any thoughts on that? And he says, thanks. Somebody asked me that on X as well.
I don't think I have any initial things about unrealistic player growth. And if it did happen, it could probably happen in other areas, whatever be dynasty, franchise, or whatever, because I know those things are, tricky. But no, and Josh, I'm in crew. I trust there, so I'd have to just see what it is first when it goes out in the streets. I played it. I can't say that I've played like so many years that I could guarantee if that was gonna happen, because then I get called up on there.
Mm-hmm.
Now we got the Joker.
Yeah, shout out to Joker.
By the way, I saw DJ81 in here. Shout out. I saw Hollywood in here.
Yeah.
I saw a couple other.
He knows you guys.
My man, the live Steve, the live king in here, man. What's happening?
Live king.
Yeah, man. Canada's finest.
Yeah, all the OGs have come out.
Oh yeah,
right.
That's what's up.
All the unks, as the kids would say, all the unks out.
The Joker is saying he knows you're not the equipment guy, but you pretty much know what people want. Are there any plans for this year? I would assume there are some plans.
Yeah, I'm sure that there are definitely plans. I don't know what exactly those are, or if they fulfill the asks, and which people are doing. I wish, and two, I'm all into swagging out. Like I get it too. Like I'm in there, my kids, like my two boys playing it. No, I gotta have the Shut F7. I gotta have like helmet culture, dude, is so different from when we all grew up. Holy cow. Like my 14-year-old.
We used to get whatever helmet worked.
Whatever fit.
Mine was the face mask. I was like, yo, just make sure my quarterback face mask, right?
Yeah.
You can't be at the center with that Bill Romanowski, bro. Like you could,
man.
With that Ray
with
Nitschke,
the bar down the middle.
So that was it. But like, dude, my son is killing. Hey man, I got this, and there's the Shut F7. There's a bunch of other ones. I'm like, man, it's almost like sneaker culture when we were,
Yeah.
So.
And them helmets expensive, boy. I got three boys who playing football. So man.
man. Identified. That's it. Will the weather change? I don't know if not changing. I think it's snow. It stays snow.
Yeah, I don't think it's dynamic yet.
I don't think it's dynamic.
Somebody did mention. Somebody in the building did mention to me that could be coming in the near future, but I don't. Well, obviously OG would know, but yeah, I don't think it changes currently, guys, in game.
Silent Wolf, yep, in semi-retirement. Man, come on, fellas. I get into the industry. I'm looking for my dudes. I can't find them. AZ was the first one to he was like, man, hey, he's chucking the deuces at us. He was like, yo, dude, I used to get, he was GTA before GTA. He was creating scenes and he was like into the arena.
Hey.
Let me tell y'all something, man. And I'm gonna say it.
Kids out. I was like, oh yeah.
I'm gonna say it for my boy. Is he humble, but I'm gonna say it. All of that, my career and all that stuff that y'all see now, and how all of those big time guys, him.
Yeah.
AZ started that.
Hey, on the hot hog. On the hot
right,
pod,
on the hot pod. Right.
Yes, sir.
They don't even know about the hot pod.
Oh, man.
The little light, blue light come on. Show you record, man.
AZ was the man. I remember a day when QJB reached out to us and was like, hey, man, I like what y'all doing. You think I should continue doing this thing? We was like, yeah, do your thing. Yeah. Now look where he's at.
Funny story is, and I still support Q to this day.
Yep.
Sure. He sent me a video of him getting like 2K or something earlier. He was like dancing, just cute. He was being cute. And so, to see him, continue to be successful, I love it, man. It's like, like my little nephew or somebody out there is just killing it. So, he reached out to me at the beginning. Q would make beats. And if you go back to my early videos, you would see me say, QJB on the beat or whatever. Because, hey, all them, hey, I need to use that boy for college football soundtrack. That boy, he is musically inclined. He can do graphics.
Really?
Like QJB. Oh yeah,
I think I
QJB
knew that,
can do
but I mean, his
graphics
videos, I've always just known
and
that his
beats.
videos has been crazy.
Don't
All the
forget,
beats.
don't forget about your boy now.
Q
Dante,
can do it.
what's up, Dante?
It's yeah, Sim can do it too.
I got
So,
some heat that people just ain't heard.
It must be
That's
that North
awesome.
Carolina A&T, Aggie Pride. It's something in there.
Oh
yeah,
man, it's just the great thing was, like, I could go back to our old conversations at, you know, the restaurants or whatever, or in the hotels that were up till like 3, 4 in the morning and chatting it up. So we go
Shout
in
out
and we
to
get
Duel.
JD, bro.
JD.
Oh man, yeah.
So we get stunts and twists in, right? And it's like, you had a lot of people like, oh man, dope. And then you had this subtle like, oh man, I hope there ain't no exploits, man, with these. And I'm like, man, do you know how long we've been trying to get these? Not since I've been back. I'm talking about just us as like, hey, like, and you know, people change, and like there's new directors and new things, and there's new motives. So I'm not going to be like not understanding, like, if like, man, we've been wanting this for years, and you know, and then they're kind of salty. Now it just came. I'm like, hey, at the end of the day, nothing I can do about it. Like, bro, I just got back here, so like, it's whatever. Like, it's in the game. Yeah, let's get down. But to see some of that,
Yeah.
I'm exaggerating a bit. Like, it was really positive. But then you have the other ones that said, I'm like, man, if you just would have known, of all of us in here, all sitting there,
The
hey man,
argument
stunts and twists that are going to
between-
be coming.
Oh,
The
man.
arguments on 2K8 and all that stuff that used to happen in the hotel lobby at dinner. And Gibbs and Farrells, boy. When I first met them, we was going at it.
Oh man.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, man. Yeah, and so seeing them in there, and they, you know, they got families and stuff, which is awesome. I was just chatting with Farrells today, just going back and forth. But it's I love having an ally like that though too, because like he gets it. And I'm literally sending him a message. What's the word on the streets? Like exact verbiage. Like, and he feeds it to me, you know, just right there, just as raw as it can be. He's like, hey man, you know, hey, like, they ain't happy about this, they're not this, you know, he doesn't hold back. He's just letting you, you know, if it's, you know,
and that's why we love when people like you get in positions like you are.
Absolutely.
Because you're a man of the people. You have experience, and you still got your ear to the streets. So,
and I'm gonna, you know, and you'll take I appreciate you're gonna take the arrows if they come to. There'll be something. The last year, when everything was clean. Oh man, then Junkins found his way to lurk his head. Man, it was just, woo. It was like, no.
What Jay-Z say? See Caesar, see Brutus, see Jesus, see Judas.
Yeah,
like it just come with the territory.
Absolutely.
I should say that when I'm trying to stay positive on there, man. But that was it. I was just saying, you probably heard that, AZ. Like when Junkins, you think you were off when he got to spinning. And they're like, "Oh man, it's arcade." I was like, "No, that is not the vibe. That is not the vibe we wanted."
I saw your response to it, and I was like, "Yep, OG on it."
Yeah, we had it, and we had the fix there, but you know, you have that and different schedule. You're waiting for things to go out, it needs to be tested and all that other things. And it was the guys that worked on it killed it and got it right off. And so it was like, but it was like, man, that was not it. And the people hold on to that stuff too.
Oh yeah.
So you're just like, hey man, so you don't get a second chance to make a first impression, right? So you're like, so a lot of it was good. Not everything was exactly perfect, but that was one of them. Here we go. You got one from Kevin. Is that the next one here?
Yeah, we'll take Kevin and the Joker, and then we'll go ahead and wind down.
Got it.
Kevin says, I want to say Rex or somebody said this. They were saying that back in 2018, basically they said the AI was tuned for like, or it might have been Clint, 5 to 8 minute quarters. After playing the beta, it seems like it can handle longer. Is that true?
Yeah, I think it can handle longer. I don't even know where I wasn't around when that came from before. I don't see like, you know, things usually like whether it's stamina you're tuning or wear and tear or things of that nature. You're looking around the different quarter lengths and things of that nature. Like if you read in the blog, like you have a recovery pool that you can get. So when you sub out, you only get so much back. So you heal every per play, per quarter, halftime you get a big jump, and so on. And then obviously week to week, But that's different. Your healing is different there than it is in like a 3-minute quarter game.
Yeah.
We wouldn't give you the same amount in a 15 to 3. Like it wouldn't. Then guys would never get hurt or not get hurt, never get banged up. So I would say that I don't. That's news to me in that realm.
Yeah, I want to say Clint might have said that a while back. They were
Really?
saying it was best tuned between 5 to 8 minutes as far as like ratio and stuff like that. But
got it. Okay. Well,
and then the last one here, Joker says he loved playing the Madden moments. Is by any chance any talk of bringing that back?
Sure. It's definitely been talked about. I don't know when or if it was. We are guaranteed to bring it back. It's absolutely been discussed. So there's a lot there. I mean, you're seeing other games do it too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's more or less just how requested is that?
Right.
So I would even argue that, even in the hoop scene of what we saw, it probably wasn't as big as it was the first time it came back. So, yeah.
I got a quick question for you. How pressured are you to bring in new users? Now, hoops is a little different. Like, you see younger hoopers and just basketball is just a different landscape. When you're talking about football and concepts and all this kind of stuff, like it's kind of a little bit more complicated than just controlling one player and dribbling around with basketball. Like, how pressured are you to bring in new users to all of the kind of sim things that are happening with these games?
I wouldn't call it pressure. I would like to bring in your kids, all of my kids, to be selfishly to get as many in there, and just I want them to all experience the stuff that we experienced growing up.
Yeah.
Right, and they're like, "What is that?" Those Gen 2 days, man, were special at those times, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we all remember them. And
I got my kids
we're dating ourselves.
Retro consoles, so
same.
They are able to play the old stuff, the little retro handheld. So I just download them and let them play.
And there's definitely nostalgia to it. Even when we made college, like the nostalgia for 14 was much greater than when you and I and everybody had played it back in 2013. We were all there being like, and I think it rated at like a 75. When Metacritic actually mattered, and we actually had like
Metacritic,
like all that stuff, because I still go in and watch all the ones best you can, but it's so different, right? We had guys that were writing in the space for a decade, right? Like Owen Good is like my guy. Owen is dope. Every time I saw him last year at the media event, he came. I hadn't seen Owen in years. Like, I love that dude. And again, he just tell you like it is. Like, he didn't hold any punches when he was working at Kotaku or Polygon. Like, oh, this is very good. He'd tell you what you're working on, and you appreciated it. And not like people won't. They just do it on X and do it differently now. You know what I'm saying? But it was like, it was just different. But I'm saying, what they're, you got people, some just bombing reviews now. I'll see certain games. I'm like, man, that's a really good game. And then here's a 58. And you're like, how? Like, man, yeah. So I'm not sitting on any of that. I like mostly all the college stuff is really positive, thankfully. But some people don't put as much value in it. I still go in there and read where I can. And overall, AZ, no, that's not pressure. I'm just thinking naturally, because it's easy to probably think that way. Not you, but more or less you'd be like, I just want to all right, make a dope game, make a football game. Just keep building on this, and just
building
foundation. No, did we teach our kids in fundamentals, man? Like my daughter getting her D1 offer, and I'm like, I didn't allow her to shoot a 3 until she was like 10 years old, 13 years old, until she could actually shoot it. People are like, oh, she's strong enough. I'm like, nope, because I didn't want her pulling way down here. I just had her this way, and just that was it. It wasn't anything special. It was just like, just don't do that.
Same
you know
thing.
what I'm saying? Oh, well, you played and you did this. I'm like, no, I appreciate that, but I'm like, at the end of the day, it's just don't do that. Just go in, and because they're like, oh man, look at Johnny over here, man, he's hitting 3s, he's 9. I'm like, I don't care, he's shooting it from his hip.
Right, yeah.
And then when he's 15, 16, and he's still shooting that, and that thing can't get off, like, okay,
I'm trying
now it's gonna be
to
involved.
teach my 8-year-old that now. I was like, we going out on the court. I was like, shoot from right there. Pop!
Yep.
You see how easy that is to block?
Yeah.
Now, shoot from up here.
Right. Yep. Get underneath the basketball.
Yeah.
Shoot in there. And so, times have changed, man. Kids aren't playing one-on-one like that anymore.
Oh man. Yeah.
Right. I know, Sim, you're going through that right now.
Yeah.
Or not that he's not playing. I don't know if he's doing it, but it's just you just don't see it. You don't see kids just
Yeah,
like
you
on the
don't-
flat
yeah.
top. And it's not about just it's the grittiness, the toughness. Yeah, that comes with it. But I'm talking about just foot craftiness.
Yeah.
Coaching a
Right.
6, 7, 8 high school out here in Florida, like there's some
Yeah.
incredibly talented kids, but fundamentally their game is going to be limited because they can't get the craftiness. Just like look at Kyrie. You guys watching Kyrie's breakdowns of him watching other people?
Man.
Like the basketball intellect is like. That's why I'm like he's arguably the most skilled player I've ever seen.
That's an easy sell.
Yeah.
Yeah. That dude is incredible.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Man,
Well,
this has been one outstanding conversation.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Smitty.
Real quick. From what you were talking about with the past trajectories thing, something I touched about talking to Sim offline. I would love to see, while seeing, like you got the different release points and you got the signature style that was implemented into the game this year.
Yeah.
I would love to see going forward to see it evolve to where we got specific trajectories for the quarterbacks, meaning like Mahomes has his specific, like you got his animation, but I want to see a specific, this is Mahomes trajectory versus like Troy Aikman trajectory, John Elway trajectory, Dan Marino. Like a deep ball dot from Dan Marino is going to be different from like a Brett Favre or
Sure.
you know
Russell
what I mean?
Wilson
Like,
moonball.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
Russell does have that. Russell's kind of the one that I think, I don't know if that's, Russell's the one that definitely stands out. I would say, I would think throw power should do a lot of that, right?
Yeah.
Because you can throw it at a lower one based on, like, just change the ratings and test it for yourself. Like those guys that can really, like Marino was arguably one of, if not the greatest pocket passer, like pure passer we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Right. In that realm. And so, but how far he could throw it, how hard he could throw it is going to do a lot of that.
I'm just saying, like, having that signature on that level with Madden, like how we saw in NBA 2K. Jordan, his jump shot had some kind of arc to it.
This is a line drive.
Kobe was a line drive. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I want to see that, Bill Cartwright, the arc, because the way his release was. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I want to see the same thing in Madden where it's like, have generics in there, of course. That's eventual, but I'm saying like how 2K over the years developed a database, you know what I mean? All the different jumper types, and you had those release points like that. So the trajectories are different. I would love to see that signature. You got your signature with the QBs, the current Qs, but then you also just have, in general, like, because that to me is adding more signature, and it's making it's adding more signature depth, especially if you play like Ultimate Team. Because if I could go in there and I'm playing with a legend and he's got an authentic arc because of how he's releasing it, that, you know what I mean, it's adding even more of a layer of depth to how you use those quarterbacks and everything. Like that's what made APF stand out to me, because Randall Cunningham had a release that was like nobody else, along with, and Dan Marino.
Yeah.
His release was his, even if you made a generic quarterback and gave him the exact same attributes, he wasn't slinging it like Dan was. So that's what I'm just saying. It would be cool to see it evolve. Like, I know you can do it with the revamped passing and everything, and it's cool like how it is. It is improved upon, just having that layer of signature.
Sure, absolutely. SIG everything, bro. That's everything.
Right.
That's we had, whether I was taking over dribbling or whatever, or coaching. That was like the first thing. It was like, hey, nope, Doc's pick and roll defense is X. This guy dribbles, he stops like X. Like that's what we play, right? That's the imagination that we put ourselves in when we're in this digital space. I think that's totally fair. Let me ask you guys a question. What are you most excited about college or Madden of everything that you've heard? Sim, go right ahead. You go first. It can be a couple things.
That's a tough
But I mean,
one.
like, what's initially, let's like, hey, man, this is like, either you wanted something or this was it. What's kind of the one that got you excited?
I think the main one out of what's being presented now, and I have to preference that because the chat will be like, oh, well, what about? I'm just talking about what's being presented in these games. Is twofold. It's the real QB DNA and the coaching DNA. So overall, it's just AI. That
Nice.
gameplay, I mean, it just AI takes gameplay to another level. And that's probably the biggest thing that I'm excited about with everything we've heard from these games, especially with experience in the beta. Man, content will be coming, and this will be a fun dynasty and franchise series because there's no guaranteed win, bro. And it's real. Like it doesn't feel like, oh, they just bumped up Heisman or bumped up all Madden. Like, nah. Like OG said, these quarterbacks is going through progressions and you're getting pressure. Like, trust me, on all Madden, I was getting sacks. I mean, I won't get in a sack every play, and you shouldn't. But QB stepping in the pocket, sidestepping, keeping their eyes downfield, finding this guy. Like, you got to be locked in to play against the CPU. And I love it. So that's
what you're trying to get
those
with
two
Kyler's
things.
run style and all that too.
Oh,
And he's
man.
moving. Like it was just like it was like, hey, let's get that. Even as a Caleb Williams fan, we put the jump throw in.
Yep.
And I saw when we were motion capture, we have our whole list and going in like, because I was like, I even when he does it, I'm like, I just no. But it was like, hey, he's only going to do it at this time if these things happen, like to make sure it's not overplayed or anything. So I was like, hey, man, I roll right. I don't want to see that every time. No, we got this, but.
And of course, DJ just said it. I don't know how I missed this one because that was my biggest gripe last year. The wear and tear. Being in Madden, obviously. But again, I put all that in the same pool.
Same. I get it. Well, the thing is too, is I look at you guys are sim heads, but franchise guys. Like, how many times did we play in a franchise or a dynasty and a guy wins the rushing title, but he's got like 500 carries or just something crazy? It's like, dude, you ran the ball. Like now that's not happening. It's not like we're trying to ruin your experience. It's like, dude, we're leveling the playing field. Like you're plus 200 carries over what Breece Hall would be in real life.
Right.
Like, come on, dog. Like, so yeah. Smitty.
The biggest thing for me, honestly, from playing both is it's the core gameplay. I mean, it like to put it all together because like, I was able to get in on the college beta and everything. And I mean, dude, like I was talking about earlier, playing it on, whether it's playing on All-American or Heisman, it was crazy that disparity from playing one school versus the next. Played against like, what was it, New Mexico State? I was using Michigan. I was playing against like New Mexico State or something like that. And then their quarterback, frantic, getting sacked, heavy pressure, all of that. Wasn't able, like you're talking about the reads. It was the same thing. It wasn't like the world was his oyster. Mm-hmm. But then when I played against Oklahoma, you'll say like it was a whole different ball game. And I mean that quarterback composed in the pocket when we gave pressure, stepping in, all of that. Like it was absolutely beautiful. The player models, the player movement, the wear and tear. It's like that collectively. So it's like that whole collective of what's on the field. That's like my big thing.
I hope you guys called it out and I missed it. Remember we always used to talk about the Gen 2 run cycles?
Oh yeah.
So when we came back to college, it was like, man, let's just rip all, let's go in here and let's just literally try to get the cleanest. And that's like what that it went back to where that was like years and years and years ago of like, hey man, let's just take another look at this. But also, keep other stuff that we could, but the big backs ran like big backs, but that swinging, that pushing, that just
real running,
authentic run style would come across.
Player
but
movement.
that was it.
Immaculate.
Oh
Immaculately
my God.
done in
Stick
there. So
control.
that's what I'm just saying. Like, yeah,
man,
it feels so much more weighted now.
Oh my God.
The agility and the weight, like you feel that different, very different now. Like that's no.
The cutbacks are
Absolutely
just
love
insane. How you can stop and literally cut. Like I could damn near run like Le'Veon Bell with certain backs. I could stop, hesitate, then take off. Like you got that much control.
But when I think about that, remember Terrell Davis in that wide zone? Wide. Then he just hits the hole. It was like that type of feel. Like again on the left stick, it's just more. Man, can I really feel that burst, that thing? And then then again, that was the whole thing of like, is it the same? Yeah, it's the speed and everything. Both is, and that was it. It wasn't like, hey, let's do this and not do this to whatever. It's like 4-2, 3 or 4. It's the same in both games. It's the same in both games. Let the ratings, our ratings gurus, do the work of reason here. There's no reason Xavier Worthy's 4-2-3 here, and then he gets slower when he goes to Madden. Like that's never. I know they're not thinking the same thing either. But that was the whole philosophy. It was like, okay, this is what's worked. Let's go from there and then just polish where we needed to polish. And it's like, well, is it slower? No, it's not slower. Pursuit angles are tighter, run fits are better. These things there, you're going to pop the runs you should pop.
Yeah.
So that was it. AZ?
Unfortunately, I was in Europe when the college beta came out, so I downloaded it, couldn't play it, and I'm a stepchild of Madden now, so I did not get a beta for that. So I'm looking forward to what's today. Today is the 7th. So to get my hands on college, and then the 11th for Madden. I've just been reading and seeing what other people are saying about it, and I see stuff that looks good, but these two guys will tell you. They'll text me, and I'll be like, I don't care how that game plays against the computer. I want to know how it plays against a
user. Yeah.
So even before I do anything, when I get betas, I go straight online. When I get that college, I'm going straight online because
I'm gonna jump out there too.
My dynasty doesn't start till August 1st, so we're gonna wait and let people get used to the game. But between July 7th and August 1st, I'm in the streets.
I love that.
And I'm gonna be playing everybody online because I want to see how the game plays against another user. It's great that computer logic has been improved, and if I wanted to, I could play this game offline. But I used to be in them electronic boutique tournaments too. So all that ever mattered to me is how I matched up against another person. And if a person was better than me, I wanted to know what they did and how they were doing it. And now it's getting to the point to where the field is evening off, and I'm catching these little YNs. You're gonna catch it. You're gonna catch these hands.
Go right ahead. Finish, AZ. You're good. My bad.
Yeah, I was just saying it because we thinking of football principles and things that Can you stop the run for 4 quarters? Because AZ finna run it down your throat.
That's
for 4
right.
quarters. You think you get players who get tired of running the ball. Not one of them. I will run the ball on you.
We set the tone.
3-4 different running backs, and you'll just be like, "Is this guy gonna throw the ball?" Not to give away my strategy, but
I wanted.
When you look for the run, I'm gonna hit you with the pass.
Play action.
I love it. So the sequencing, baby. Sim, I wanted to get in here. There's one that's been asked a couple times. Waffle Gaming. He had said, "How does the no eyes, no pick affect the user?" So this is something that had popped up, and hopefully, guys, man, this chat has stayed over 100 something the whole time. Here's what it is. So no eyes, no picks encompasses a lot of things, right? So the AI, right, is going to be turned around, right? they have to turn around or make the play, or is the guy who puts his hands on no different than they'll go ahead and make that play on here. The user, what we did in there is, yeah, there's no thing to control your eyes, but when you're in quote no eyes type positioning, so again, seam route, you're behind him. Because I saw some of our even influencers go, oh, this is just a CPU. Absolutely incorrect.
Yep,
No. If you're getting trailed on that seam and I'm behind him, we've disallowed all of these Willie Mays Hayes interceptions. So it works like that. So you got to press the button a bit earlier to then get him to then turn to play an animation to get around there. So Ben Kurt had an awesome video where he throws a 9-ball up over the top, and the guy hits his editor hits the button, and he kind of just gets like one of these. He can't get it. Yeah. That's the user version of no eyes, no picks.
Nice.
Thank you.
Right. So I know it's hard to clarify that, and it's no bad intent, but people are like, it doesn't. Yeah, it does. Because if you're one-on-one and your hips are like this, as a quarterback, I get my release, dude, I'm throwing the ball. Typically in games, you wouldn't throw the 9-ball unless you knew you beat them on the press. You had a couple steps ahead, then you go, oh, I'm going to throw it. Right. So we had to change that behavior because there was many things. I even said it. I think it made the cut. No, all good. It was multiple that made that happen. It was more like I should be able to throw this ball, and I shouldn't have to worry about this thing getting picked if I'm throwing it ideally right. And so again, for clarification, that's how that works. Like, if there's a ball underthrown and you're trailing, you could still hit, and he can go and play a longer asset. But the thought that you could, like you could last year, trail, tap wide, and it's just boom. Now I've and they were contested, right? And so things you kind of see later, and you're kind of like, oh man, like what happens if we patch all of that out? Do we completely break defense? Like there's just too many unknowns. So you just like, all right, let's make the real solve come in. So hopefully, Waffle, that helps in there. But, dude, I say that, Sim, sorry to take that over. That was said, all throughout. Oh, it's not. I don't even know why they marketed. Like, I was like, hold on here, Chief. We got this. Like, I'm saying it because that's what it is. So you'll be in there and you get, like, one of these. And if you hit the SWAT button, you can get to a higher point. We'll get you to the higher point of the ball. So hit that like you would in real life. There were just picks that just should not have been happening last year.
Yeah. I was playing a number 2 ranked team in NFGL. Shout out to Caleb. I know you watching. I should have beat that dude. He got a no eyes, no pick on me when I was driving the ball down the field with a lesser team. Like I'm telling you, I be beating people with my team builder team. So if I had Ohio State or somebody, like I would just be absolutely. Problem would have to see me. But you know,
quarters and road to the college football playoff are the same. If somebody's asking, like that's all the same. That was it. It's and there's enough possessions that are been going on. That's been more or less that we had done a bunch of testing on that internally, externally. Even myself was like, why isn't this 5 minutes? And it was like, man, the way it's going, like that. Trust me, this is for this experience, it's the best way to go. Playbooks were the same thing. Why can't you change a playbook? You know why you can't change a playbook? Because it'd be the same way it was in college 14 when you played. You'd see 3 teams, and that's it. They would try to find whatever playbook they can. So what was great about 25, believe it or not, the amount of usage across the country that people were using, it was like, oh, dude, perfect. People were upset at first. You can't change your playbook? Yeah. By design, go play. You can play Ultimate Team or play other things in that mode that can do that. You can go play that like that world. But like if you're Florida, you're playing with Florida's playbook. You're Oklahoma, you're in that wide split. Like that's the nature. I got to shout Rob out for that too, because he was the one that was like initially.
Shout out to Rob.
Rob was like, nope, can't budge, not budging on that. Like, and I respected that because I was like, I love it. Yeah, because I was
stand your ground on these things.
Yeah, you got to stand that, and that was what it is for the purity of just the mode. Because not everybody wants to see that. Like you're running you're running Army Navy double wing offense, and you're Florida. Like remember we were seeing that in 14 all the time. It's like, oh, this is not good at all. Like I don't want that. Like, so yeah.
The no eyes, no pick. I tried to break it in the Madden beta. So I would click on and see what would happen. And like OG said, I mean, I'm on PS5. I hit triangle, and it would play a SWAT if I wasn't in position. And I was like, thank you. Because I know, I mean, when I was playing in the league, in the SSR league, is a couple guys in there, and they probably watching. They just knew how to manipulate the game so bad, and it just pissed us off. Like, dude, I'm gonna give you your credit, but y'all ain't that good.
Yeah,
You
there'll
just
probably be something
moving
that
around,
happens like that
zipping
in
around.
26. You know, there might be something that shows up. Like I'm saying that I would think that, I mean, we've done a lot to like not allow those to play. I don't know, maybe one finds its way in there. I hope not. I haven't seen it yet since we
Have you
made the
seen
change.
anybody put like with formation subs, put somebody like a 99 speed receiver at the little tight end wing type part? Because I feel like somebody's going to try that right
like
off the bat
H-back.
with formation subs. Yeah, like in the gadget. I don't know. I just feel like somebody's going to find something like that in a formation where it's supposed to be a slower player there, and they're going to put an insanely fast player there and just exploit the mess out of that.
Nothing I've seen yet, AZ, on that. I mean,
we'll see, because I'm going to see.
The most difficult thing about working on, I know you will, and you'll be hitting me up too. Hey, OG, you need to check it out. That's probably your message, right? Mine is more like the difficulty with college. Madden has definitely its challenges as well. The difficulty with college is just the different variants in play.
Yeah.
Like there's no one in Madden running Tennessee stuff, right? Like that right now, right? So you know what I'm saying? So it's like those splits. Okay, when this guy motions, or the shotgun gate that you introduce. So you don't want to limit those things, but you're trying to die on the hill of balance at the same time as well, right? So you're like, so that's more or less of the challenge that you run into there.
Well, guys, the little man just came to the door, so that means it's time. But guys, man, listen, this has been phenomenal. We appreciate OG, and definitely, man, we're gonna have to get this done again at some point.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah,
no
this
doubt.
should be
no doubt. I'm just glad the band got back together. AZ, way to come out of retirement, bro.
Yeah, man. Look, I come out of retirement.
I love Sim and Smitty, but I knew if all of us were not together, I was like, hey, man, I'm canceling.
Yeah, that's right.
No, don't cancel.
I love my two brothers over here, but
I was like Thursday perfect.
I told him, I said, yo, man, OG trying to come through. I need all of y'all on board, though. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, no, we got you, man. Got you.
No, I know you all, man. Because we were going to do something last year, and I couldn't be there. And I was just like, so I hit Sim up. I was like, hey, man, when we rocking out?
Yep.
You know, blah, blah, blah. He's like, hey, let me know I got da, da, da. And he held true to his word. And I was like, my only ask is that everybody's
the
there.
Whole band.
The whole band got to be here, man.
Yeah.
One band,
one sound. Everybody in the chat, too, man. The chat was...
Yeah, man, cool, we appreciate everybody coming through. Man. And the overarching point, I'll just end it with this. Clearly, guys, as we talked about tonight, there's many other things that we all want, including OG and company. So I just want you to walk away from that. So, because some of you guys are fairly new to what we do, and OG here has told you how long we go back. So trust us, there's many things that we still want to be in the game. And just because we're giving praise to what we're seeing now, there's a reason for it. We haven't seen change like this in EA football games. We've never seen it to this degree. So with OG being on the team and other people that we still know in the building and leadership and all of that, we're finally at a place where we feel like, all right, I think we're going this way now. So let's enjoy that and give the feedback. Because the man right here is telling you, he's seeing everything. He's listening. So,
yeah, this is not easy. We all know that, right? It's definitely not easy. But no, that's it. It was just more or less of like, hey, man, like, again, and they don't, like, I just tell you honestly, like, no one has to. So it's hard. I want no one to feel sorry. It's like, hey, dude, this is a bug. This happened. Da da da. It's like, it's not by intent. This is the. It happened on the other side when I was there. These things just in any game you can look at. These games are massive, man. And again, I get it. You pay your money. Okay. Like, I respect that. Like, I get it. I think a lot of other guys do too. And so I'm just like, all right, man, I'm just trying to tell you, you don't have to believe me, but, and let's just rock from there. But it's not there. It's like, well, it took this long for it to happen. Well, it's here now.
It's here now.
Exactly.
Let's rock. Like that's where I'm at. Like, man, I'm not even gonna like.
Right.
there's nothing I can do about that. What you had or didn't have, like intentions have always been good. And, things change, people change, personnel changes. And
Yep.
I don't know, but the team is
Just like
dope.
with sports teams.
Right, exactly.
Sports
So team
teams.
is dope. Management is dope. Like those things are there. Like you guys see D Holt. Like D Holt's one of the dopest dudes of the whole thing. He's been charged bringing the whole band back together. That guy was here when we were here. You hear him a lot of the studio stuff, but like there's a lot of like even from the top down, like they get it. And so
like
they
enjoy the
let you
run.
cook.
Like the Warriors can't be the Warriors forever.
Yeah.
It all has to come to an end. Clay eventually leaves. But while he's there, enjoy the Splash Brothers. So we got OG at the helm, and he's got his team. So let's rock with his team and help him win some championships. That's all I'm saying.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is.
The team is dope, man. We got a dope squad, man. Like I was mentioning with the guys on both sides, man. You got Clint over here, you got Scan, you got a lot of different dudes that we know. I'm putting out names,
Shout outs
A-Dub. Rob, I got McLeod over here. McLeod, A-Dub. I got Haw Miller, my boy Chad with me. Like,
we can't forget Ben.
We got like a squad.
Yeah, no, of course, Ben.
Yeah.
Ben,
Larry.
Josh,
Larry in there.
Imagine,
all them cats.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man.
So it was weird, man. When I came back, man, it was almost like Shawshank. It was like, because I had dinner with Clinton McLeod the day that I left. And then I came back, and then we were all like, "Oh, here we are again." After nearly a decade away. It was like, "Welcome back, fellas." It was just a big hug, and it was like, "All right, man, let's just do what we're supposed to do, and let's get back to business." It was literally like that, though. No, not kidding. It was like, "Oh man, it's going to be a lot of fun," and it's been like a blast. So it's like, "All right, man, let's just do it."
It's a beautiful thing to see, man. Because I remember one time.
I'm glad you're having fun doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember Clint telling me one time, he's like, we could make the game do whatever we wanted to do. And that never left me, because what he basically told me, and I'm not going to give all y'all the real tea, but he was like, dog, it's what OG said. We have to, number one, prioritize, but number two, everybody has bosses and there's direction. Right? You can't outdo whatever the direction is from up above. So just keep that in mind. But again, in my opinion, I feel like the direction has changed. Not only are we seeing it in the products, but my confirmation was when I found out on the low that OG was coming back to EA, and I was like, I know what that was about. Like, nobody had to tell me what was going to happen in the future, because I know he wasn't coming back there. I told him the other week, OG, I said, he ain't do that just for the bag. He didn't, because I'm sure he could have got the bag wherever he wanted to go.
He came in like prime. I'm coming in with my
OG,
Louis.
OG been
You know what I'm saying? I'm coming in. I got my Louis. Okay, like listen.
He didn't do that for the bag.
You guys are too kind. It was just more or less when you go, you just ask the same questions wherever you go. Hey, who's there? Who's doing this? And you just kind of ask those type of questions. No different than
who over there.
That's it. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, who's doing what? Who's doing what? Like, I mean, that's what I did that as a professional athlete, where you go through your agent. Hey, who's it's the same questions you ask, just a little bit differently. And then if this is it, is this the you do have to believe in it. Is this the right fit and the direction and things of that nature, and a belief, and letting me fall on my sword for let me make my mistakes. And dude, it's been one hell of a ride, man, since I've been back. And I can't say anything else. And then, dude, I mean, obviously it ends up being the #1 sports selling game of all time in US, and so you're like,
congrats, dude.
No, I appreciate it. The team, it was just like, dude, it takes it, like, we could do this, but like the presentation wasn't as dope, because I always say presentation is gameplay and gameplay is presentation. So it's like, you need them to go in, they kill it. The Dynasty comes in and was like, oh, guess what, you get this, wham, here's a couple others, here's everything else that's new. And then like road to the college football playoff. So everybody, remember in 2014, all we saw was Ohio State, USC, Florida. Like, you only saw that. So when you're playing online, it was super frustrating. Now I'm playing, I get like Arkansas randomly showing up in like a tier 2 or or tier 4 or 5. I know we changed the tiers, but whatever it was at the time. So just things just evolving and push. And like I said, it's not going to make everybody happy there, but do what you can and go from there.
Go get my FCS teams. TSU.
Yes, sir.
North Carolina A&T.
Yes,
There you
indeed.
go.
Howard
Get
University.
that Aggie pride in there. Man.
That's dope.
But guys,
I appreciate being on, fellas. It was good. It was a good one. It's a
man,
good one
we
to get the band
appreciate
back
you
together.
coming on.
And for the
We
ones in the
appreciate
chat that are still here, man, these are the hotel conversations.
Yeah. Yeah.
That used to just go on, just sitting in the lobby, just
3 a.m.
Like, hey, can you guys leave?
Yeah.
Got to be up at 7 to get on the shuttle to
Go back to the
go to
studio.
the studio.
Yep.
Oh, man,
So
good times, man.
perfectly titled show. I'll give myself a pat on the back for that one.
Yeah.
And look, my camera went out, as y'all can see.
Oh, dang.
Good Lord. So that means it's time to go. But folks, we appreciate everybody. We thank OG again for coming on, and definitely my brother AZ for finding time. I can tell he looked like he in the telly, so he found time.
Yeah, I'm on the move. On the move.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Y'all know the routine, man. Subscribe. Definitely be on the lookout in case AZ comes back in those YouTube streets, and Smitty. Go check them out. And outside of that, man, give OG and company real feedback.
Chase
Real
McCoy,
feedback.
come on, man.
Oh, man, Chase, the legend.
Hey,
Right.
the legend.
Chase McCoy,
Hey,
gotta get out.
y'all look up Chase McCoy, NCAA 14. Hey,
Legend.
Yes,
left
sir.
He left it right there.
All right, folks, we are out. Have a good night. Have a great 4th of July. Be safe, and we'll see y'all soon. Peace.
All right. Peace out, y'all.